You never see it come down. You see that my mind is to pass for right. You're down there, but the time is hit you. You're not surprised.
Festival it is. Let's look for a good one.
Study comes first, though. I won't let you off if you fail any of them. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you all see me? But most importantly, can you all hear me? What's going on, people? What's up? What's up? What's happening, y'all? Just let me go ahead and do my due diligence. Y'all already know. Let me just pop this chat out right quick. Drag this over to the side while the comments start popping in. Okay. I'm seeing the homies. I'm seeing all the homies. All right. What's going on, people? What's up? What's happening, y'all? How's the audio levels for the music? Can you guys hear me clearly? Is it overpowering? Let me know, guys. Let me know. But while I do that, I want to give a big shout out to everyone who showed up early. All right, shout out to the homie Flame coming through. First and foremost, we got the amazing JD, Smokeback Official. Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Yeah, it has been a while. Hope you've been doing well, bro. Let's see, we got elitist edits in the chat. I work at a car wash and on break right now. It's so busy. Damn, son. Elitist edits. I don't know where you're. It sounds so weird. I'm talking military terminology. I don't know where you're stationed. But man, dude, I've been wanting to get my car washed for the past week or so, but with how this weather's been, man, it's been snowing at least once a week for the past 2 weeks, and that always just like, ugh, that puts me off from getting a car wash, bro. But that's interesting though. That's so busy. That's crazy. Maybe it truly is, you know, new year, new me. Some people finally realize they got to get a car wash, which is insane, man. Like, dude, listen, I get it. Like, sometimes people can't get their car washed once a month or twice a month. I understand that. But when I see some people, and you ever just like go up to someone's car and you want to put your finger on it and you see the not just the dust, but the dirt and everything. It's like it's got a different coat of paint on it. It's just crazy. What's up, Pi Studios? How you doing? We got Zap Black 1212. Video games are pretty cool, to be honest. Yes, they are pretty cool, Zap Black. They are very, very cool. Oh, we got Bacon Ben 24. Second time making it live. Hey, that's what's up, Ben. That's what's up. Look at you. New year, new bacon. That's what I like to see. We got Luis Mayorga. Redfall is rumored to be delayed to 2023. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that for a little bit later on. Let's see. We got Johan in the chat. What's going on, my man? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good to see you, bro. Let's see. We got Pony Chat. The amount of you that are running with the Redfall nonsense because one stream says something that they have no idea. Yeah. We're going to speak on that. We're going to speak on that a little bit, Pony Trash. We got Oblivion 81. Yo, man, this is too early. Going to church and won't be here for the fun. Yeah, I've been kind of experimenting on different times when doing the Ask Neo. So I think y'all might have noticed last week, instead of starting at, I think we usually started at like 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern. I pushed it up a bit to 6 p.m. and now it's 5:45 p.m. I'm trying different things because I know not everyone lives in like the United States, you know, East Coast, West Coast. So it's harder for them to attend the streams. So every now and then I'm thinking, all right, maybe I'll host a stream, you know, at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that way people who live in the UK, I'm not saying it's that much better, but you know, it's easier for them to watch a stream at 10 p.m. at night versus 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. Unless some of y'all are night owls. Let's see who else we got in here. We got before we got Sean, we got PierretheGamer in the chat. Of course, a member of the Phantom Weirdos. Thank you so much for your support, my brother. Thank you. We got Sean Wachowski. Yo, Neo, what's good? What's up with you, Sean? How you been, bro? Man, I've been doing good, bro. I've been doing good. We'll touch on that a little bit. Oh, and then we got Flame coming through with the $5 super chat. $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Flame. Well, Neo, you did it. You got me to play and finish Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was a heckin' bop. Also, that Stalker 2 delay stings. Bad. Yeah, Stalker 2, we gonna talk about that as well, man. I mean, listen, it's what are we going into? The third week of the new year? I keep telling people, do not expect any of these game dates to stick. But yeah, Flame, I'm so happy that you really enjoyed Guardians, man. Guardians was my game of the year last year. I think with all the games that I finished, nothing comes close to the enjoyment that I got hour for hour with Guardians of the Galaxy. Impeccable writing, fantastic voice acting, beautiful visuals, and it really took me by surprise, man. Like, out of all the games that I thought I wouldn't like in the year, I never expected Guardians would be that 180, which, I mean, it's telling. Marketing is everything when it comes to entertainment, and sometimes really bad trailers will pull people off from excellent games, or in the case of Guardians, non-existent marketing, which is so weird. Let's see. Oh, we got I forgot what your nickname was, sis. POTC 3000. I think was it we came up with a nickname for you. It wasn't P3000, it was something else. But what's going on with you, sis? Hope all is well. Ooh, we got JMac19 in the chat. What's up, Neo? I ordered a PlayStation 2 and it's coming in next week. Hey, my man is diving into the classics. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Yo, I'm not even going front here. Recently, I've been thinking about either digging my 360 out of storage, because I don't exactly know where it is, or just going ahead and buying like a 360 Slim, because man, there's just a couple games that aren't on that backwards compatibility list that your boy be fiending, man. I was thinking of going ahead and playing Naruto the Broken Bond again. Like, the last time I played that game was 2008, 2009. Shit was a minute ago. But yeah, man, I know the feeling. Sometimes you just want to dive back into the classics, because there's so many games from those generations and beforehand that to this day, they're not backwards compatible. They haven't received any type of like HD remaster or remake, or they're just hidden gems, man. Like, the amount of stuff that was on the PS2, holy crap, man. Honestly, the PS2 was the last time Japanese gaming was really at its prime, man. Like we definitely peaked in the PlayStation 1 era, well, in my opinion, in terms of RPGs, but the PS2 is where we just got a lot of different diversity for other genres, you know? Let's see. Oh, we got Colin, my boy. What's going on, Colin? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Yeah, I've noticed past couple Saturdays it's been kind of hit and miss with you. But it's good seeing you here, bro. I hope all is well. We got Shadow Spear 2 in the chat. I've been subbed to you for years, Neo. Do you still talk to King of Lighting, Uber Hikari, Bankai 922, and the others? Oh, well, first things first, I appreciate the support, Shadow Spear. Thank you, bro. And yeah, I mean, we don't all keep in contact, like we don't all talk to each other on a daily basis, but you know, I still follow King of Lighting on Twitter. Every now and then we like each other's posts. He's doing well. I watch his content. Uber Hikari, I haven't heard anything about in the past couple of years, so I hope he's doing okay. Bankai, Andrew and I, we're friends on Facebook, so we're always in communication. Like whenever there's a movie that's coming out, we always tag each other in post and talk about, yo, this was epic. Like we do our own little I feel like we're like old parents with this shit, but we do our own little mini reviews on our statuses, just talking about what we liked and didn't like. So Bankai's doing well. Ranmyaku Joten, I see him every now and then on Instagram. So I think he's doing but yeah, you know, we all keep in contact with each other through our social media posts. So we might not talk to each other, at least from my perspective. We might not talk to each other on a daily basis, but we see each other's posts and what we're doing, and we'll always comment stuff, you know, whatever life achievement, or if someone's going through something, we'll talk about some shit. But yeah, you know, that's just the nature of getting older. Sometimes you don't stay as close to people as you did beforehand, but that's not a bad thing. It's because we all have different things going on in life. But the important thing is that we all reach out to each other in situations where, you know, we need to reach out to them. That's what matters more than anything. Oh, we got the homie Adrian in the chat. Depunked. It's the Xbox Series S salesman himself, NeoGameSpark. Yo, so I'm gonna tell y'all this little story right quick. So shout out to my boy Adrian. You guys might remember, if you were in the last Ask Neo, Adrian was going ahead and he was packing up his apartment. He was moving into a new place, so he's doing a lot of back and forth trips. So he had the stream going on in the background, and he asked me, what do I think about the Xbox Series S? Is it a good value proposition, especially if you have an Xbox Series X? And I told him straight up, you know, I love my Series S, the little man. I keep it in the living room. I play games on it. And it's a dope little machine. And then Adrian was like, word, say less. So this man, I shit you not, in the process of moving, this man hit up GameStop and bought himself a Series S. Like right then and there, from that little 2-minute... 2-minute discussion we was having. And I think you said you had a lot of GameStop credits, so that knocked down the price pretty significantly, which is great, man. I mean, bro, just if you have the choice, obviously I recommend getting the Series X, but having the Series S as a little companion console, the speed, Game Pass, all that good stuff, shit is great, bro. So I gotta hit up Microsoft and see if I can get a referral program, because I know I sold a lot of Series S's to people, and I think that just has to do with the fact that the Series S is more in stock by comparison to the X. But it's good to see you, Adrian. Let's see. Pie Studio says, I gave my aunt a PlayStation 4, The Last of Us, and Persona 5 for Christmas. I'm glad she's enjoying it. Yo, is your aunt, she be playing games like that? Because that's some gaming shit right there, bro. That's The Last of Us and Persona 5. That's not something like Call of Duty or Madden or The Sims. That's some real deep cut gaming shit, bro. Yo, you might have to keep us posted about your aunt and all this stuff, bro, because that would be really interesting. Oh shit! We got the homie Asbel on in the chat. Asbel, my man, it's good to see you, bro. Happy New Year. How have you been? He says Neo The World Ends With You was his game of the year easily. Yeah, it's still on my list, man. We're in a dry spell right now, so your boy has been completing a lot of games. I'm getting all this stuff early, getting it out early before shit gets busy. So you know, like I've been busting through a lot of games, mainly indie games, things that have been on my list for a while. So like the Forgotten City. I'm going through Firewatch right now. I have there's Forgotten City, Firewatch, and Outer Wilds. So those 3 games are on my list. I've already completed 1.5 of them. Firewatch is really quick. I'll have that done by tonight. And then from there, I'll be finishing up Life is Strange, True Colors, and then working on Neo The World Ends With You. And yes, Flame, shut up. Shut up, Flame, because I know that comment's coming, bro. Shut up. But it's good to see you, Asbel, man. It's been a while. Okay, so the odd one. Okay, we'll call you the odd one, POTC. Michael Brent, what's going on, bro? What's up? What's up? NKDN in the house. What's good, man? Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised all of y'all are here really early. I mean, I ain't complaining because y'all dope, but everyone's like, yeah, notification squad, what up? We got J World, like the video. Hey, what's going on, Jay? How you doing, bro? And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously, sends this video out into the ether, so we can get a whole bunch of weirdos into this little family of ours. Oh, and then we got Oblivion81 coming in with the fat $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, brother. So Oblivion says, thanks to my new job and my new disability claim coming back 100%, here's my first contribution. Now, Neo, finish the Artful Escape. Yo, so first things first, congratulations to you on your new job, Oblivion. I know you was talking about that in the past couple of streams. So happy everything went according to you, my friend. I hope all is well at that new job. And yes, the Artful Escape, it's almost done. It's almost done. It's one of those games where it's a game that I have to be in a certain mood to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't play every game if you're in a certain mood. Like, some nights when I'm winding down right now, the game that I play, no matter my mood, is The Witcher 3. But the Artful Escape, I just got to be in a very lucid mindset. But no, you know what? Because you're such a diligent person, my friend, and you've been asking about the Artful Escape for a while, I will have that finished by tomorrow. No questions asked. If tomorrow goes by and there's not an Artful Escape post on my Twitter account, Oblivion, spam me on Twitter. I don't care. But yo, I appreciate that, my man. Let's see. We got damn, you guys are leaving a lot of comments. Whoa. We got David Biglod in the chat. What's up, my man? We got Fear No Hate. What's going on? Oh shit, is it Eternal slander? Are we really slandering Eternals tonight? Oh boy, that's gonna be some fun. That's gonna be some fun. Let me just breeze through this real quick. Valkyrian24, what's going on, Maddie? Good to see you, bro. Yo. So Adrian paid $7 whole for his Xbox Series S with a handful of games. This man must have, like, how much trading credit did you have? Jesus. But hey, man, listen, getting a console for $7, bro. Shit, man. I don't need to, but I'm thinking about getting a second PS5, bro. I don't need to, but I want that digital model. I have like maybe 1, 2. I have only 2 physical PS5 games. Everything else is digital, and that's partly due to the fact that I game share with my homie. But yeah, I don't even know what my first like physical PS5 game's gonna be this year. I gotta look at the list. Like I do like to support the niche titles physically versus like just like random, you know, like random AAA shit. Do I really need a physical title of that? I don't know. But obviously Persona 6, whenever that comes out, that'll be a physical cop. K Brooks in the chat. What's going on, K Brooks? Oh, we got Rhino 242 not checking in from Queens. He's checking in from LA. My man, dude. I wish I was in LA right now. We got some pretty weather over here in New York, bro. This shit is like 13 degrees. It ain't the move, man. It ain't the move. But I'm happy you living it up in LA, man. Give my best to Yoshi as well, bro. Let's see. Oh, video game lover. What's good, bro? We got Zach Black 1212. Hey, Neo, should have. Fuck you guys. Hey, Neo, should I buy Neo? Neo, which, you see, well, for those who are listening audio, his comment says, should I buy Neo? Which I assume is Neo The World Ends With You. I mean, I only played the demo. I have the full game. I just haven't gotten to it. But I know Asbelon can speak to this in the chat, and Corey Gryffindor, when he comes in here, he can talk about that. But it's gotten a lot of good reviews, man, and I enjoyed it for the time that I played. I just need to buckle down and finish the rest. Let's see who else. We got Artsy Avanti. Yay, it's Neo. Yay, it's my boy Avanti. What's good? What's good? It's good. We got Jose Linares. Excuse me if I butchered that, my friend. I mean, we can leave and come back later if you prefer. It's like, oh, snap, 6:30. It's time for Ask Neo. You guys are a trip. You guys are a trip. Speaking of which, the Artful Escape is quite a trip, according to Maddie. All right, we got Star Patroller in the chat. We got Chris B. We got Mr. Oh, shit. It's Mr. Platink in the chat. Oh, boy, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Platink's comment of the week. My man. I must apologize for being out of the loop. So please forgive me if you've already answered this question. what was 2021 for you, and what do you want 2022 to be for you? That's not the... Anyone who frequents the Ask Neos knows Mr. Platink leaves really interesting comments, but that's actually a really good one, my friend. All right, and you know what? I want to open this up to everybody in the chat. So Mr. Platink's question was, what did 2021 mean for you? And y'all don't got to get into like the details or the specifics if it's too personal, but what did that year mean to you personally? And what do you want 2022 to be for you? So for me, 2021, I would say, was definitely the year of coming to terms with moving on. Now, I know that sounds really weird. Like, why? What does that mean, coming to terms with moving on? So, one of the things that I think a lot of us experience in life, whether it's a romantic relationship or just a platonic relationship with people, is letting go of that person and kind of adjusting to life without them. And all throughout 2020, there was a lot of stuff that happened in my personal life. A lot of people that I lost due to COVID, and just a whole bunch of like relationships I had with people that I don't have anymore for one reason or another. 2021, like 2020 going into 2021, was the year of processing all of those things and realizing that this is a part of life. This is okay. It's fine. Life is so much more than just worrying about whether or not you need to have these relationships with people. And it's going to take some time to realize that. And so that was the year for me. Especially when you spend a lot of time trying to make things work with somebody. There comes a point where you just have to realize that you've done all you can, and now it's time to move on. And it's okay to move on from that. So that was the lesson that I learned in 2021, realizing that it's okay, it's fine. Don't try to force something that isn't going to happen, while also remembering to I'm trying not to get really emotional with this, but also remembering that the people that are in your life that you truly mess with, you fuck with, you gel with, you break bread with, those are the people who you should be worrying about. It's something that I already knew and something that I've always done, but last year really put it into perspective. It really did. So the bonds that I formed with people, they became even stronger in 2021. And that is what I really cling to. And that's what's important to me. And it's not just people out here in the real, but it's also people like you guys online. Every single one of us, like, could you imagine like 15, 20 years ago, all of us just randoms getting together on a Saturday evening and just talking about random life stuff? But it is important just to hear the little updates from one another, like Oblivion and how he just got his new job. And, you know, just anyone else who's going through some stuff. Like, hearing those things, forming those bonds and connections with people. Jesus Christ, this is really starting to sound like Kingdom Hearts. But I mean, Kingdom Hearts is in my blood, you know this. Like that stuff shouldn't be taken for granted, because there's a lot of people that really cannot say that they have those connections. So every single day I'm thankful that I have people like you guys in my life to keep me accountable on things, for better or for worse, whether I like it or not. And also just having this space for us to just chill and hang out and, you know, not have to worry about anything else that's happening in the real world. In fact, I'd say that this little space we have helps us navigate what happens in the outside world. It could be something so simple as like, hey, I need advice on this, and we all just offer our input. People, they have a choice to take it, whether or not they want to. But stuff like that is really cool. So 2021 was just getting back into that mindset of cherishing the relationships that you have with people and not forcing something just because you think it's right, you know? So 2022 and what that will be for Neo. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of personal goals that I set for myself. But I think that those things are fairly attainable. It just comes down to working really hard towards it. But honestly, I would say my goal for 2022 is just to be an even better of a person than I was in 2021. Whatever that means, I'm not sure. Whether that means I'm a better friend to people, whether it means I'm a better romantic partner to someone, or what have you, whatever it means. I just want to do a little bit better than I did the year before. That's all I can really ask for. And I'm gonna go ahead and read some of y'all's comments while we wait for some more people to come in. Shout out to Mr. Platink. That was a really insightful question, my friend. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And shout out to all the new people who have been joining in. What's going on, Rafi Grant? Good to see you. Mr. Yotsuki 3, what's happening? I'm going to get back to some of y'all's questions that you're asking. I just want to do the quick rundown. We got JPip 25 in the chat. Billy, what's going on, Billy? We got Winterfort Studios. And let's see, we got Kewan McCulley. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, my friend. But I think, was that everybody? I think I shouted out everybody. Okay, now 30 minutes into the stream, we can finally do the intro. What's going on, Neo? I was about to say, what's going on, Neo? See, out there. But what's going on, people? Welcome to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. There's no real type of form, flow, or structure to this Q&A. It's literally just chatting. So if you guys have any questions that you want my insight on, I'm going to try my best to answer them in a timely fashion. Down below in the video description, I want to draw y'all's attention to a couple of links of interest. Those are all my social media outlets from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon page, YouTube membership, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to keep up to date with me, in addition to joining our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, those are going to be where all the links are. But yeah, we're just going to get back to answering some of the questions that you guys are answering. But first things first, John McKinney strolled up right between with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, bro. My issue with remakes nowadays is that they're remaking movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Why don't they remake movies from the 1930s to the 1960s instead? Great question, John McKinney, as always, my friend. Hope you're doing well. But to answer your question, bro, the reason why, it has to do with profitability, right? There are way more people alive nowadays who grew up with content that came out in the 80s and the 90s and now 20 years ago in the early 2000s than people who were alive in the 1930s and the 1960s. Most of those people are, unfortunately, they've passed away or they're getting very close. And then you look at the limitations that came with making movies in that era versus now. Hollywood, like I said, Hollywood is very lacking in creativity. So if they can look at the internet for, like YouTubers list for the top films of the 1980s and why they love them, they can look at that list and be like, okay, this is our information. Whereas there aren't going to be a lot of people on YouTube reviewing movies from the silent film era, movies before they had any color. Even though I think that'd be really interesting, taking concepts from films from 80 plus years ago and adapting them in a modern day, that could be interesting. And in addition to that, something I'm not seeing Hollywood do is, instead of remaking proven commodities, why don't they take some of the more middle, lukewarm type of movies, like Aragon, for example. Aragon, I felt like, was a film that had a lot of potential. It just did nothing with it, right? So why not take a movie like Aragon and then remake that, make it better? Like, take a lot of the movies that either really sucked but had interesting premises and then remake them for a modern era. I think that'd be really cool, but like we always talk about, that requires ingenuity, creativity. That requires people actually giving a damn versus, hey, we have the license to remake this movie. It's going to be really telling when we start seeing remakes of movies that came out in the mid 2000s, because for a lot of us, that's literally when we grew up and we have conscious memories. I'm not talking about little memories from childhood, like 4 or 5 years old. I'm talking about like mid 2000s. Most of us here in this chat, we remember all that shit vividly. So when they start remaking that, I'll just be like, oh boy, here we go. But yeah, man, it just comes down to, I can't necessarily say it's laziness. It's just complacency, like why not? Like, why not do this? That's what they do. But appreciate that, my friend. All right, so I'm gonna scroll back up and I'm gonna answer some of the questions that you guys were answering. So feel free to keep asking some questions down below. Let's see. Let's see. Why aren't you watching the Raider game? And that comes from Matthew Dominguez. I'm good, man. Like, I haven't really been watching too many of the games this season. It's just been really busy on my end. So the free time that I do have, I usually want to spend it playing games or doing a stream or doing whatever. But you know, I still keep up with my teams. Like, obviously I've gotten the Sunday off for the Super Bowl, so I'm gonna be watching that, and I keep up with it when I can via, like, on my phone, whether it's via Twitter or sometimes I'll have a stream up and I could just watch when I have the free time to do it. But yeah, today it's all about the stream, man. It's all about the stream. All right. Let's see. Okay, so everyone's talking about Eternals. So David Big Lad said, does anyone else realize the Eternals movie was basically the DC Universe's Justice League, and MCU's been killing it with CGI special effects through the speedsters? Yeah, Eternals, most people don't know, but the Eternals is a very, like, much lesser known property in the Marvel Comics universe. I mean, there is significance to it, of course, but most people out there, they'll know about Thor, they'll know about Spider-Man, they'll know about Captain America, but the Eternals is kind of like one of those things where you're only gonna have a handful of people that really know it. But yeah, a lot of the stuff about the Eternals and what I found really interesting, they didn't really like, they had it in this movie, but at the same time they didn't. Like, the one thing I loved about the Eternals is that it's more the cosmic side of the Marvel Comics, and you get into some interesting things with characters. We didn't really see that much in the movie. We saw glimpses of it, bits and pieces, but it was more just an exposition dump of trying to catch you up to speed to what all these 10 characters were doing. That's not really something you want to do in a 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie. That would work perfectly for a TV show. Like, I've always said this, but I think the Eternals will be much better fitted for a TV series on Disney Plus versus a movie, because at least with a TV series you can have character specific episodes. Like, here's the episode about Cersei, here's the episode about Icarus, here's the episode about Sprite, and then you can weave in a plot through all of those episodes, and then maybe like the latter part of the season is where everything comes together and you see that. But obviously Marvel didn't want to do that, maybe for budgetary reasons, or maybe because they wanted an auteur filmmaker and they would only allow them to make a movie versus a TV show, or maybe the filmmaker didn't want to make a TV show. I'm not so sure, but either way, since we're talking about the Eternals, I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I mean, I enjoyed the Eternals for what it was. I think it, like, visually it's a very distinct Marvel movie, which is I'm glad to see that in the era of just nothing but green screen. Like, there are so many more shots in the Eternals movies that I love versus something like Spider-Man No Way Home. And if y'all have seen Spider-Man No Way Home and it's really wonky CGI, you'll understand. But at the same time, CGI does not save a movie. It's just like icing on the cake if you have really good stuff. Like, what I wanted to see out of the Eternals was to get attached to these characters, and I was struggling to remember some of their names. I know Icarus, I know Cersei, because obviously they're the ones they spent time on, and I know, like, Kumail Nanjiani, Kingo, I think that was his name, Phastos, Makari, Druid. Like, I'm really, like, trying to remember all these characters' names, because, like, some of them barely had any screen time, you know? But yeah, Eternals, I always tell people to watch it and form your own opinions, because some people, they might like it and some people might hate it. I'm just more in the middle with that. And then I want to give a big shout out to the homie Colin, Colin, my boy, with the $13.99 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much, bro. Have you seen Mamoru Hosoda's new film, Belle? I saw it last night in theaters. A little unfortunate we had some annoying fucks between... damn, Colin. When do y'all ever hear Colin curse like this? Jesus. A little unfortunate that we had some annoying fucks between us, just laughing and mocking it. The film itself was just okay. Yeah, I did see Belle. I actually saw it opening night, which was Wednesday over here, and I actually really enjoyed Belle. I would say it's probably more in, like, the middle of the road for Mamoru Hosoda films. Like, obviously, my favorite Hosoda film will forever be Summer Wars. I love that movie so much. I know people just say it's Digimon again, but I love that movie. It's so great. Man. If they were ever to do like a live action version of an anime movie, I would say Summer Wars would translate perfectly, especially now. But I really enjoyed Belle and the story that they were trying to tell with this one. It was more about coming to terms with who you are as a person. And I don't want to get too much into the spoilers because, you know, like some of the twists and turns that people expect to looking at the trailer are not really in the movie. It does some different things, which I really like. The music was fantastic though. Like, oh my God, bro. I saw it subbed because that was the only way you could see it in IMAX. But I really want to go and check it out English dubbed because I heard the dub is really good and the English translations of the songs are really good as well. So that'll be interesting. All right. Okay, so going back. Oh, is that the homie Dark Cloud? Dark Cloud, what's going on, my guy? How you doing? Yeah, I mean, honestly, one thing I loved about the Eternals is whenever I got to see the Celestials, because those shots were amazing. The scale and the scope, holy crap. But they were on screen for like maybe 5 minutes at a time, if that. I'm being very generous when I say that. Very generous. All right, so we're going back up the list, and we're gonna work our way down, you guys. Let's see. Oh my God, Luis's comment. Neo be like,
You merely adopted the Xbox Series S. I was born in it, molded by it, and I didn't see the Xbox Series X till I was a fully grown man.
Jesus Christ, bro. Let's see. Oh wow, so so going back to Pi Studios' aunt, who just got a PS4, he bought her that for Christmas. She really wanted to play The Last of Us, so that I mean, I would not be surprised if that show does numbers for HBO, because if you're getting a lot of outside people interested in a game like The Last of Us, that show gonna be crazy. If it's good. Let's see. Okay, all right, here we go. So this one comes from Depunked. Real question. I'm picking up streaming multiple times a week in a big way soon now that I've got my new place. Any tips? Be honest. You know me. Hit me with what I need to improve. All right, Adrian, I got you, bro. You know I never steer you wrong. Adrian, I've known Adrian for well over 10 years now. So, you know, we keep it 100 with each other. But this also goes to anyone who is thinking about getting into streaming in 2022 or just in general. You know, it doesn't matter what year this is. Someone could be watching this 5 years from now. But my biggest piece of advice when it comes to streaming is just start streaming. Period. Point blank. Because what happens with a lot of these people when they have these tips and tricks videos, and there's nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They can be really useful and beneficial. But the problem is with the folks who are looking for the advice, they think that they need the fancy camera. They need the lights. They need the theatrics when it comes to streaming. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you have to like streaming in the first place before you worry about all this extra shit. Because all this extra shit is damn near mandatory. It is about improving your content, your visual production, your audio quality, and looking for all like things that'll benefit the user's experience. But if you aren't having fun streaming, or if you're only streaming to capitalize off of popularity, like there's a lot of people out there who only want to stream for popularity's sake. They want to gain money and all that stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm telling you, trust me, if you're getting into streaming or content creation because you want to make money or you think you're gonna hit the views, it ain't gonna happen. Trust me, there are very few people that can blow up overnight. And even when you see people who blow up overnight, it's usually because they've been streaming for months or even years. Like when people saw that Xbox One X video I made, they didn't realize that I was doing content creation for 10 years, right? So for people it works, for other people not so much, but you have to love what you do. So I always tell people, work with what you got. So if you have a capture card and you have a decent microphone, start streaming from there. Start getting into the hang of things. Learn to be comfortable on stream, because when it comes to streaming, a lot of people can't do this shit. A lot of people can't just sit here and talk to you guys like regular. You have to get accustomed to doing this. You have to get accustomed to entertaining folks. I'm for those who are listening just audio, I'm using the bunny ear quotations because you kind of have to put on a show when you're talking about things. You have to engage with the comments. So you have to be able to talk. You have to be able to speak fluently, coherently. right? And that all comes with practice. That comes with practice. It doesn't matter if you have an accent. It doesn't matter if you have a speech impediment. All of this comes with practice, getting comfortable, right? So you got to start streaming. You got to get comfortable doing this. Then you have to find your niche. What do you want to do as a streamer? Are you somebody who just wants to do a lot of just chatting streams like I do? Or do you want to stream a lot of video games? Because video games are the hot ticket item. You have to figure out what you want to do. Because streaming is not just streaming games. It could be anything. You could be doing podcasts. You could be doing like, I've seen people stream on Twitch doing random stuff like assembling Gundam kits, or they're just like drawing. They're practicing drawing. I've seen people do cooking streams. Like there's a plethora of things you can do, but you have to love it and you have to commit to it. So everything kind of comes full circle. They play off each other. You have to love what you do to do what you love. And you're going to realize that, yeah, there are going to be some times where you're going to have maybe one person in your stream. You're going to have no people in your stream. You might have 10 people comment. You might have no people comment. You might get raided by some of your friends. You might just be chilling by yourself for the first couple of months. That's fine. That's fine, because you yourself, you're carving your own niche. You're creating your own story. So you've gotten all that stuff out of the way. You figured out what you want to stream. You have the consistency down, because consistency is 100% key. Having some type of a schedule you could adhere to. Because here's the thing, what some folks don't realize. Yes, there are certain times of day where streaming will be more beneficial to you view-wise. Like if you live in a certain area and you know like how people engage with your content, like that's why a lot of people, they'll sometimes do streams on the weekends in the early afternoons. Why? Because most people are off on the weekends. Likewise, there might be people who, you know, work later at night and they get off later and they come home and they want to stream, which is why you might see streams start at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., things like that. You got to work with what you got though, because while you can rearrange your life to an extent to accommodate streams, again, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you just uprooted yourself from so many other things. So in your case, Adrian, I know you're a teacher. You work that 9 to 5 life, probably more, because teachers, they never leave exactly when they're supposed to. You'll probably be doing your streams later on in the evening, and then on the weekends you'll have some flexibility to do it at certain times. But yeah, just figure out a schedule, do what you can with what you got, and then go from there. And then another point is networking with a lot of people in your community. So if you're somebody who does stream a lot of quirky games or niche Japanese RPGs, if you watch a lot of streams, maybe go ahead and chat with some of those streamers. Now, I'm not saying do this to piggyback off of those streamers, but you never know who you'll run into and just the vibes that you have. Like that's why Marcus Doyle Terrell, I don't know if he's in the comments yet, but when Marcus Doyle Terrell started doing his YouTube channel, I was like, hey, yo, check out Marcus Doyle Terrell's channel. I linked it every single time he's in there. I say he's got a new YouTube channel. He's doing videos. Go check it out. That's the type of person that I am. I will always, like, if any of you guys are getting into streaming and you're consistent with it, pimp yourself out here. It's no type of a shameless plug for me, because I'm cool with y'all. But you got to get cool with people in order to do that. And some people, they just won't do that because they won't promote other people. Me, I'm all about everyone eating. I don't this whole dumb shit like if I promote someone and they might get bigger than me, that's just that's that small dick energy type of thing. I don't care, because when we all eat, we have fun. I love seeing everybody succeed. Like Flame, for example, just got Lord of Gaming Scribe of the Year. Like that's a huge accomplishment for him, and I'm always gonna be like, yo, Flame, congratulations, man, because that's the type of person I am. So you want to network with your community, even if it's just having fun game nights together, like just random stuff like Jackbox Party Pack or Among Us, and just being in those streams. Some people might be like, hey, that Adrian guy is pretty cool. I'm gonna give him a follow on Twitch, right? So networking is also a big factor in that. And then from there, then you could start getting into the specifics, like, okay, overlays, banners, emotes, working your way towards partnership, and all the other things, worrying about your camera equipment, your gear, and all that stuff. But the important thing I always tell people when they start streaming, the most important thing, do audio and visual checks, please. Ask your community. Ask them, how are the audio levels? How do they sound? Because it's one thing for you to listen to it on your headphone. It sounds pretty good. It's another thing entirely when you're live, because anything and everything will go wrong. That's why every Ask Neo stream, I'm like, hey guys, how's the audio sound? Is it good enough to listen to? Do you have to crank up the volume on your TV or phone just to hear me? Do a lot of those things. Audio and visual checks, trust me, your community will love and appreciate you for that. But yeah, that's a 40-minute long answer to your question, Adrian. You know, just have fun with it. Have fun. You gotta enjoy this. It doesn't, the views and all that stuff, it does matter to an extent. But if you aren't enjoying your time doing this, then none of this shit matters. Like, why would you ever want to stream if you're not having fun? Sure, you can make some money for it, but you can make money doing literally anything else in life. Trust me on this. And streaming, like, the lengths that people go to make this shit work, they spend a pretty penny. So I'd much rather spend a pretty penny and do something I love versus getting a bag and I hate it every single time I'm doing it. But yeah, that's those are my tips and tricks for streaming, you guys. Like, I probably got to do a whole video on this. But yeah, I want to what the hell was I going to do? Oh, shout out to everyone who's been joining in there. We got Red Dragon Emperor Ash in the chat. We've got GNG on the Don in the chat. We got Speed Star. We got Reed 94. We got Chuck is chilling. What's going on, y'all? Let me see. Was there anyone else I missed? We got Tariq Jackson. We got the Animated Gamer. What's up, y'all? Okay, let's see, the music stopped. I gotta go ahead and grab the other one. Here we go. Boom. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and then we got the homie Purified Storm coming in with the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Grant. Thank you so much, bro. All right, so Cordays from a Bird's Eye View album dropped, and it's amazing. Get ready for Jid, the new King of Hip Hop's third album, and Westside Boogie, the new West Coast King of Hip Hop's second album. They're taking over 2022. So I appreciate the super chat, Grant. And yeah, I haven't listened to his new joint yet. It's on my list of things. I'm just so behind in my music listening, man. I still gotta listen to that. Still got a bunch of stuff from 2021 I haven't listened to. It's just crazy. But I know, Grant, you've been hyping up Boogie for a hot minute, bro. And his last joint, I actually really enjoyed. All right. But yeah, you know, before we get into, and y'all are blessing it tonight with the super chats, thank you so much. But before we get into that, I do want to comment on the whole Redfall situation that's going on, because a lot of people are asking, like, yo, Redfall, is it possibly getting delayed into 2023? Like, what's going on with Redfall, right? So for those who are unaware, on the recent episode of Defining Duke, the Xbox podcast that is hosted by my brother Lord Cognito and the homie Mr. Matty Plays, they were talking about Redfall, and I haven't watched the episode yet to get the full context. I was reading the article from Game Rant, and they were saying how in the podcast there's a possibility that Redfall is going to be delayed. And of course, when people hear delays for a video game and it's an exclusive, whether it's PlayStation or Xbox, niggas go crazy. So the source of where it's coming from is that podcast, but from the reading, from the transcript, it sounds like they were just saying, yeah, it's possibly going to get delayed. Now, people who have listened to that episode, you can probably comment down below to give the full context, but I'm just going based off of that. But here's the thing. Whether or not it is going to get delayed is kind of irrelevant to the situation. I personally think Redfall is going to get pushed. Whether it's the end of the year or whether it's 2023, I can't say. But we're coming up on... what was it? Okay, so that was that June E3. We're coming up on 7 months, and we haven't seen any gameplay for this game. And it's supposed to launch in the summer. So let's just say June, July, August. That's dangerously close. Now you could say that could be like, oh, well, they're trying to pull a Bethesda. They're trying to pull a a Fallout 4 where they reveal the game and then they'll show gameplay when they're ready to talk about it. Okay, but how many games out there have really done that successfully? It's only been a handful. Most of the time when we go a long stretch of time where a game is announced and we don't see gameplay, that's a surefire sign is going to get pushed back. So I wouldn't be surprised if Redfall gets pushed back. It is a very ambitious game for Arcane Studios. It's something they really haven't done before. And if a delay is necessary to fulfill that vision, especially because it's an online co-op game, then by all means, push the game. I will say though, as an Xbox fan, that is rather depressing because that means there really aren't any major noteworthy exclusives launching in the first 2 quarters of 2022. Now, sure, we just came off of Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite, and that's pretty good. But at the same time, Halo Infinite is a shell. It's not like we have the complete experience for Halo Infinite. We're still waiting for them to fix a lot of the problems with the multiplayer and with the progression. So it's not like we had a feature complete Halo to tide us over. It's not like we had a roadmap of a lot of new content for Halo. Our roadmap is them fixing stuff and adding in features that should have been there at launch. So that doesn't really bode well for what else is coming out for Xbox. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, Neo, we have Xbox Game Pass, right? We have Rainbow Six Extraction dropping this month, and who knows what all the other months will have. That's true. Game Pass is awesome. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I love it. But let's be real about life for a second. If you're telling me that we're really comparing something like Rainbow Six Extraction to Redfall, like, I haven't even seen anything from Redfall, but I know it cannot be as mid-looking as Rainbow Six Extraction. So them Xbox Game Pass deals better be megaton worthy. I'm talking legit big third-party deals. Like, I'm not talking about the mid shit. I'm talking about like, whoa, wow, light the world on fire. But I feel like that would be way too expensive for Microsoft to do. Like, sure, they'll do it for certain games, but not every single month to tide them over. You'll get like smaller indie titles, maybe some AA stuff, and occasional AAA like MLB The Show, but it's very targeted with their day and date Xbox Game Pass titles. And they just came off of 6 months of doing that, so I don't know if they'd really want to do it, but hey, we'll see. But I want to get a gut check from you guys. Do you think Redfall is going to get delayed into later on in the year or maybe 2023? A lot of people are still working from home, so yeah, there's anything can go wrong in this situation. I don't mind it per se because, you know, insert that overused Shigeru Miyamoto quote right here. But at the same time, it is kind of disappointing for Xbox because Xbox, like last year, I know some people ain't gonna agree with this, but I didn't see anything out of Xbox last year that made me go, yo, this is why I own a Series X. I saw a lot of good stuff for Game Pass, but I still to this day have not gotten anything that's like, this is what the Series X is all about. And regardless of like this fanboy shit, you look over at PlayStation and you got more of that. You got more games that scream next gen. Whether or not you care about the quality of those games, because quality is subjective, we got the showcases. And we have Horizon coming up and then all the other stuff happening too. So yeah, I just don't want this to be another year of Xbox where it's going to be like, we got to wait till the fall again for these heavy hitter titles like Starfield and Redfall and Stalker 2, another game that just got delayed. And again, quality. I want it to be a really good game, but yeah, it is kind of telling. But let me go ahead and dive into some of these super chats right quick. $9.99 coming in from the homie John McKinney. Thank you so much, bro. Since you live in New York, how are things with Eric Adams? Apparently, he's considering running for president in 2024. Could he be a viable candidate for the Democrats? So yeah, like I said, we talk about politics every now and then on this show. So here's the thing. I don't live in New York City, so all the stuff that he does really doesn't have an effect on me. I live outside of the city. But yeah, his first couple weeks have been really rough. Public appearance is everything when it comes to politics. And he's been saying a lot of questionable shit and it's been pissing a lot of people off. But the thing I've come to notice when it comes to politics is, unfortunately, like these people, whether they're candidates or elected officials, they could say anything and it can make the news cycle. But that's not going to happen. Like, nothing is going to change on election day because the people who are the one casting the majority of the votes, they're not on Twitter. They're not on social media. Every now and then you do get an upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of people saying Donald Trump could never be president. Look what happened. But what's happening with him right now, I'm not a fan of a lot of things that he's been saying, but at the same time, the stuff that he's doing is not really affecting me. I'm gonna leave it to the people who live in the 5 boroughs to speak on that stuff. And from a lot of people I know, they're not a fan of him so far. But you know, obviously everyone says these things and everything changes on election day. Like, I mean, look what happened before. Like, everyone is so hard on Biden right now. But what's going to happen come midterms to 2024? Are people going to keep that same energy? I hope people keep that same energy, because that's what it should be. We should always vote. Like, your vote should never be guaranteed. But the problem with politics is that everyone is running under this whole lesser of two evils nonsense, right? So literally it's a douche or a turd. They're both saying terrible things. But because we're trying to stop one from gaining more power, we're going to just swallow our pride and just vote. Like, we have not had reputable candidates in politics for a very, very long time. And if we do, they're more on the local level, which is what I always tell people to do. Look into your local level politics, because that's the stuff that's going to affect you on the day-to-day versus the bigger stuff. Well, the bigger stuff will matter. Don't get it twisted, but you're definitely going to see more of a benefit if you vote like local in your county elections and things like that. But if you ran for president in 2024, I mean, 50 billion people always run for president. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how far he gets. We'll see what happens. I don't know. The thing about the Democrats is, like I said, and a meme online was so perfect about this. Republicans and Democrats say the exact same thing, except Republicans say it, and then Democrats say the exact same thing, but they put the trans flag, the pride flag, and then the pronouns. Like, that's literally what it is. You know, it's like, can we have universal health care? No. And then no, hashtag Black Lives Matter. Like, Democrats are very performative, extremely performative. And that's what pisses me off the most, because it's like, y'all say all these things, but why aren't you following through with it? And it's not like, because I know a lot of people always say, well, they actually are following it. They're following through with this. Do you read in this stuff? And it's like, yes, I keep myself well informed. I don't just go on Twitter for the news. But it's just, I'm tired of, like, this is our moment. They're already starting this right now. Michelle Obama's already saying, this is our moment in history, guys. This is our moment in history. It's been our moment in history for the past 8 years. Which is it, Michelle? Which is it, Michelle? Like, at some point, you just get tired of this shit, bro. At some point, you just get tired of it. I don't know. Like, let me know. Some people in the comments probably feel the same way. Like, we all have our moment in life where we're all, like, politically active and gung-ho and yada, yada, yada. But now, dudes be tired, man. Dudes be tired of the same stuff. Straight up. $6.99 super chat from Colin, my boy. If you could get funding from a studio to direct whatever film or TV series you want, what would you direct? Ooh, if I had an unlimited budget, what could I do? I mean, there's a lot of books I would love to see adapted into TV. But honestly, if I could do a really, like, this is just on the top of my head right now. It's the easiest thing I could go to. But I would love to see a Death Note anthology series. A Death Note anthology series television show where every single season you have a different auteur filmmaker tackling the concept of the Death Note. It doesn't have to be an overarching story with multiple seasons with the same characters, but it could be like mini series where, like, let's just say one season you have 10 episodes, 10 hours of content, and it's directed by David Fincher, written by David Fincher, or if you want to do like David Fincher, Aaron Sorkin, you can do that. And the only constant you have to adhere to is there is a Death Note that exists in this world and somebody picks it up. And from there, you have fun. And I remember I was talking about this with my boy Danny a few years ago when the Netflix Death Note atrocity came out. And we were saying, like, the story of Death Note does not have to be exclusively about Light versus L. It's a fantastic story, don't get it twisted, but I think it's really cool if you just take the concept of the Death Note and see what happens if you give it to somebody else in a different country. How would they react? And then Sugumi Oba and Takashi Obata came back with that Death Note one shot, and that's what they did. They gave the Death Note to a different person, and you saw what happened from his eyes. I would love to do something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be every single year you have a different season, but you could come back every couple of years and do something like, this is Death Note directed by David Fincher. This is Death Note directed by Guillermo del Toro. This is Death Note directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Or you could get really out there with your director's choices, you know, like Taika Waititi, for example. maybe make Death Note into a dark comedy. Because Taika, if any of you guys have yet to see Jojo Rabbit, I implore you to watch Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit is a fantastic movie that tackles really serious subject matters in a serious time like World War II, but there's humor and there's levity and there's also some really touching moments, really dark stuff. So seeing him do Death Note would be really interesting. So yeah, that's just right off the top of my head. I'd love to see a Death Note anthology series. All right. Let's see. So this one's coming from Pierre. What are your thoughts on the G4 X-Play situation? Ooh, we're getting some controversy. Yeah. So for those who are unaware of what's been happening on G4, so G4 came back. I don't know. It was like a couple months ago. They came back. They revived it. They've got a whole new panel of people. Yada yada yada. Woohoo! Yay G4, because we all grew up with G4. But they came under fire. Well, they started coming under fire in the past couple weeks because their panel, in particular, a couple of people on there have been saying some really questionable stuff. And we're not talking about like preferences per se, like, oh, you prefer Xbox or PlayStation. We're talking like, do you really even follow gaming? There was one person, for example, you guys already know what I'm talking about, who was saying stuff like, isn't Xbox like Hogwarts Legacy an Xbox exclusive, and saying all type of other wild and outlandish stuff that's just like, what? What? Like really weird stuff. Like, are you even a gamer? And do you like because my whole thing is this. It's one thing if you're a casual gamer or if you're a gamer who just plays games, but if you're in the industry and you're having a show where you're talking about the industry, I expect you to stay informed on the general news cycle. I'm not saying you got to know every single thing. You have to go into every single nook and cranny to see about the leaks and the rumors, but to come out here and say, Isn't Hogwarts Legacy an Xbox exclusive when it was debuted at the PlayStation Showcase as a multiplat? Like, that's very questionable. So rightfully so, you had a lot of people calling that stuff out. Like, this is your panel, this is the credibility. And then some other random stuff like, how are you getting excited for games that you don't see any type of gameplay for? You know, like that type of stuff. And it got the attention of the said individual. Said individual went on a tirade basically saying that, you know, like, oh, you're invalidating me because of sexism, because I'm a woman in gaming and yada yada yada, which there were a couple of comments. As usual, when it comes to trolls, you're gonna get a couple of really nasty comments for trolls. That's just what happens, unfortunately, with the internet and in life. You're gonna have some nasty comments. But the problem is that became the focal point of the narrative. Like, oh, like there's a lot of people out there who are critiquing you as a commentator, rightfully so, for saying outlandish stuff, and you're taking that and you're basically ignoring the criticism and wrapping it under this guise of sexism. And everyone was just like, what are you talking about? Like, no, yes, there's some bad trolls, but most people are saying, no, you need to know your shit if you're going to be on this game show. Like, come on now. Like, there are content creators who've been doing this for years at a lower level, and now you're at this like professionally produced show and you're saying stupid stuff like that? Like, come on now. Just like people get on Fox News anchors or MSNBC anchors for when they say stupid stuff, like people are just giving that same energy. But it goes deeper than that, because, oh, and this is why you should never act holier than thou. People started to do some digging on said individual who was saying that, like, you know, you should not objectify women on these shows, blah blah blah, even though let's be honest, G4 made a killing off of objectifying all of their female hosts. Like, come on now, that's part of the reason why a lot of people watch G4, because they had really good looking and attractive women who knew their shit about video games. Like, come on now, G4, bro, come on. Even IGN got in on that shit back in the day with Jessica Chobot. What was she doing, like licking the PSP or some shit? Bro, really? I'm not saying you got to agree with that in 2022, but to act like the network that you're working for didn't make a killing off of that, like, really now. So people did some digging and they found out that she was getting kind of handsy with somebody, which, I mean, if we're talking about sexual assault and harassment and ogling and visualization and all these buzzwords, you got to keep that same energy across the board. You know, if it's okay with the goose, why is it not okay for the gander? And they found a clip of her doing something. It might seem harmless, but imagine if it was a dude doing that shit. Imagine if it was a dude pretending to grab some ass on a game show. Just imagine the backlash. Imagine. So yeah, it's just, it is what it is, man. And listen, I don't care about this G4 situation like that. I just think it's very hilarious, and this is why I don't act holier than thou than anybody else, because it's just like people are gonna find this stuff out about you. And I hate when people straw man, like, if you're literally saying that you are above criticism because a few bad comments versus the vast majority of criticism ruined your day, then I think maybe you need to get out of commentating. I think maybe you need to get out of the public space. I think maybe you need to be a recluse, because like it or not, people are going to say shit that you don't like. It's the harshest reality of the world, of living, but it's how we choose to go about it, right? So obviously you could come out here and you can make a comment saying, I don't condone this, blah, blah, blah. But to go on a tirade to mask all that negativity and criticism, I just like, did you just get into gaming now? Not even gaming. Did you just start living now? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? I need a gut check on it. What do you guys think about this whole situation? What do you think about it? I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. And no one is really calling, well, obviously in the community, people are calling this shit out, but like on that level, nobody is calling this stuff out. No one's calling this stuff out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hey, Caitlin, what's going on, sis? How you doing? Oh, we got Bella in the chat too. What's up, Bella? Hey, Corey Gryffindor, what's good, guys? But yeah, that, for those who are just tuning in, we were talking about the G4 situation and how, listen, I get it. No one should be sexist like that and leave those comments, blah, blah, blah. But to act like every single one of those comments was sexist when it was 95% criticism, like, come on. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like people don't want to keep that same energy. But oof, the fact that they got her and they found that clip. I don't even know how they found that clip of her grabbing that dude's ass. I don't even, like, how do people, listen, the internet, they got receipts. They be catching people in 8K in 5 seconds flat. It's fucking crazy, bro. Oh my God. It's crazy. Let's see. So $2 super chat from Flame. Wait a second. Halo Infinite came out. First I've heard of it. Do you want to co-op? So for those who don't understand, basically Flame has refused to play Halo Infinite until it's feature complete, which probably won't happen until the spring. So, I mean, listen, Flame, I understand. Especially if you grew up playing Halo and you did co-op campaign and that's how you've always played Halo. I get it, bro. Totally. I'm gonna be real though. I'm gonna wait till they drop some expansions before I play the Halo Infinite campaign again. I was gonna run through it on Legendary, but man, I don't know. That campaign just don't do anything for me, man. It don't do anything for. It just sucks because I replayed Halo 3 before Infinite, and I'm like, salute. Infinite, I'm like, wow, we're in the same Forerunner facility again. We're fighting the same damn robot with 4 arms again. He's back again. And then $5 super chat coming in from the homie Mike K. What's going on, Mike? All right, no more live action adaptations of animated film. What's an animated adaptation of a live action film you would love to see? An animated adaptation of a live action film? I would say Stargate, but they already did that with Atlantis. Because if you I don't know if it was just pure coincidence or the people who worked on the Atlantis movie were big fans of Stargate, but there's so many similarities between the Stargate movie and Atlantis. This is a good question. An animated adaptation of a live action film. And we're not talking about some like direct to DVD mid-quel type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so I'm going to stay away from the superhero world because that's too easy. I would say Scott Pilgrim, but Scott Pilgrim, wait, does it count if it's based off of a comic? Because I would say Scott Pilgrim, but Scott Pilgrim's getting an animated series. Shoot. An animated, this is actually a really good question. An animated adaptation of a live action movie. Fuck, I really got to think about this one. See, so my first thought was to do something like Macbeth in animated form, but again, Macbeth, it's a pre-existing source material, so I can't really say a movie version of it, you know? Because I feel like that's cheating, because Macbeth exists. I really don't know. Because the thing about like live action properties is that they work so well in their medium because they're developing as a live action property. And there's things that you could do when it comes to shooting them that is exclusive to it being live action. Like, you know, there's certain like camera techniques and tricks that only work in animation and they don't work in live action and vice versa. Oh, because some of my favorite films I can't really see, and you know, I wouldn't mind something like The Godfather. I feel that'd be like a great animated series. I could see that, The Godfather. Maybe go ahead and they make Godfather Part 3 actually really good. I can see that. I could definitely see The Godfather. Shit. So I'm gonna go for The Godfather for right now. Shoot. I can see that, bro. I can see that. Macbeth animated as Lion King. Yeah, basically, yeah. That's true. Oh, shit, that's right. See, D-Punk said it best. Mad Max anime right now. You see, Mad Max. Honestly, there we go. So I would say, if I wasn't going to say Godfather, Mad Max. Absolutely. Because there's so much you could do with the Mad Max license, bro. So much. So much. Star Wars is another one, but they're starting to... They already got into, like, the animated realm with, you know, Clone Wars and Visions and all that. What about The Wolf of Wall Street? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Because that's when you start getting into the specifics of how would it benefit being in the animated form, you know? I feel like it's easier to do that whole imagination from animated to live action versus live action to animated. You know what I'm saying? Because live action has always been the bar for most people. But yeah, I'll say Mad Max. Mad Max is a good fucking job, Adrian. Good job, bro. Mad Max. I feel like Mad Max is the animation of choice for the stream. Good job, bro. Okay, let's see some from other stuff you guys are asked. Let's see. Let me just go back up the list. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. Damn, my man drove 4 hours to watch Eternals. Oh, Winterford, I know you was pissed. I know you was pissed on that way back, bro. Oh, no. Oh, you didn't watch it okay, you didn't drive 4 hours away. The closest theater was 4 hours away, and you said, fuck that shit. Okay, I got scared for a second. But yeah, that aspect ratio switching was so weird. And here's the thing, right? The Dark Knight, I love the way Nolan shot it in IMAX, and when you watch the movie, it does switch aspect ratios, but it's not all the time. Eternals, this is what pissed me off is and listen, I'm not a film auteur. I don't study film like that. I appreciate film, but bro, when I was watching the Eternals and the aspect ratio kept switching, bro, dude, I almost had a headache watching it, because literally, okay, so you know how in the Dark Knight movie, they would have certain scenes shot in IMAX, and for the most part, those scenes would be continuous. So it would be a scene that's shot in IMAX in my last 5 minutes and then goes back to normal. With Eternals, bro, literally, like, I shit you not, this is what it does, right? And so for those who don't know, I'll put this into very, very basic terminology. Very basic terminology. So for all my film buffs, don't bite my head off. Most films are shot and they have black bars. So when you watch them on your TV, they have black bars, okay? IMAX films usually take up more of the screen. So if you look on Disney Plus, they have IMAX enhanced versions of some of their movies like Endgame, Shang-Chi. Those movies will take up the full screen for select shots, or in the case of IMAX versions of Avengers Endgame Infinity War, the whole screen, which is really awesome. You get more screen real estate. The Eternals, some scenes were shot in IMAX, but then some other scenes were shot in IMAX for no absolute reason. So what it does is this, okay? So here we go. All right. So you're looking at this. Just use your imagination for a second. You're looking at me, right? You're looking at me right now. This is the scene. there's black bars. There's black bars. There's black bars right here, right? Then literally, I shit you not, I turn my head and the camera looks at me, right? And then it's full shot of me for some reason. Like I turn my head to talk to somebody and it's looking at me from a different angle. Now it's a full shot. Then I look back and now it's back to black bars. That's literally what Eternals did for so many scenes in the movie. I'm not talking about the big money shots like when you saw Tiamat, right? When you saw Tiamat, oh yeah, that's an IMAX shot, baby. But there would just be random shots of just like the characters standing there, literally standing there, IMAX shot. Then close up on someone's face, back to black bars. And it did it so many times. And I thought I was going crazy until I was talking to people outside when we were walking out of the theater. And these are just randoms, man. I don't know about you guys, but my audience fucking hated the Eternals. Like, there was one guy when the credits left, he was like, man, that shit sucked. And he just walked out. I was like, damn, bro. So I remember we were just walking out, you know, you start conversation with people. And dude, this one guy was just saying like, bro, why did the movie keep going like back and forth? Like this shit was crazy. And I explained to them, yeah, it's the aspect ratio, IMAX shot. And they're like, bro, this is not cool. I didn't like it. Like, dude, it was like, ugh, man. Ugh. That shit pissed me off, bro. That shit pissed me off. Now you guys made me angry all over again. Dude. Oh. Yeah, it is G and the Don. It is jarring, bro. It's so jarring. Oh, God. You know, to this day, I've only seen the first... I've only seen the first two Transformers movies in theaters. I had to think, did I see the first one in theaters? And I was like, yeah, I did. I saw the first Transformers movie in theaters, and then I saw the second one. I took a girl out on a date. Bro, like we was just watching that movie. We were like, what the hell is this? And mind you, we were like 16 when that shit came out. So we were like, what the hell is this? Like the second I saw like a fucking dogs humping in that, oh my God, that shit was wild. Yeah, you see, here's the thing. I love seeing movies in IMAX, especially if the movies are shot and formatted for IMAX. I love it. And I actually have a legitimate IMAX theater in my city. Because the unfortunate thing about IMAX is a lot of the theaters in the world are not IMAX official theaters. They just hit the arbitrary number of what it means to be IMAX. But if you live in New York City, guys, if you live in New York City or Jersey or Connecticut, go to the AMC Lincoln Square Theater, right? That is legit IMAX theater. Go watch something like the next big superhero movie that says it's shot in IMAX, or any movie that's shot in IMAX. Watch it and you'll see the difference. But if I had to pick general movie going experiences, Dolby Cinema all the way. Better picture quality, better sound. Yeah, yo, if y'all see that man, that Dolby Cinema audio is top tier. But the thing is, my closest Dolby Cinema theater is like 20-ish minutes away, whereas my Regal theater is 5 minutes away. And a normal Regal theater for me is really good because they have the reclining seats and everything. So for most movies, I'll see it in that format. But if it's a special exception like Spider-Man or, you know, a movie I'm really looking forward to, I'll take the trip and watch it in Dolby if there isn't an IMAX, like a really good IMAX version. Yeah, I'm a big theater snob, guys. I'm a big theater snob. Oh, and then we have a $9.99 super chat coming in from the homie Corey Gryffindor. Thank you so much, bro. So are we in agreement that Matt Mercer is the best Kanji and Grant George is the best Yuri Lowell? Also, what's your favorite live-action Spider-Man suit? Mine is the Far From Home suit and Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Oh, man, so there's a lot of shit that went down. Yeah, okay. Y'all want to talk about this Troy Baker situation? All right, I want to ask, gut check in the comments. You guys want to talk about this Troy Baker NFT situation? Comment down below. In the meantime, I'll answer the second part of Corey's question. What's my favorite live-action Spider-Man suit? My favorite all-time is still the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And the reason I like it is because I think that it's the closest to coming out from the comics while looking believable. Now, I always got love for the Sam Raimi suit. I always will have love for the Raimi suit, but it looked too good to be true. Even back in 2002, as a kid, I looked at it, I was like, wow, it's Spider-Man. But I'm like, the older you get, you're like, that looks a bit too, like, you know, something, it doesn't look believable. But Andrew, maybe because Andrew was more of like a lankier Spider-Man, he was a taller Spider-Man. Everything about it seemed believable. There wasn't as much padding by comparison to the Raimi suit. I really loved it. I loved how large and white the eyes were, because that's like one thing I really love when I read Spider-Man comics, is just seeing how wide his eyes are and very expressive. The Raimi suit, he just looked angry all the time. His Spider-Man looks so fucking angry for some reason. I love Toby, but man, that suit was weird at times. The black suit was fire though. So yeah, I love that suit. I liked the Far From Home suit. I didn't think I would, because I'm very traditional. I like my black. Wow. I like, yeah, stay black and proud, people. I like my reds and blues with Spider-Man, and when you start adding different colors, I start thinking, ugh. And for me, I associate red and black now with Miles Morales. So to see that black and red suit, it was a nice change. It was different, and it kind of sucks that it never really, they didn't really do much with it afterwards. Like No Way Home, for the most part, was him spent in the reverse suit, and then he went back into the Iron Spider suit. And I hate the Iron Spider suit. I can't stand the Iron Spider suit, bro. Even in the comics, I was just like, nope. But yeah, if I had to rank it, the Amazing Spider-Man suit, then the second one would most likely be the Far From Home suit. It looks really good. Third suit, I would say, just because of my nostalgia, I'm going to put Tobey Maguire up there. Fourth suit is the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit. That suit was really clean. The orange eyes were a little off-putting at first, but I got used to it. Then after that, I'd probably put the Homecoming suit, which the Homecoming suit is kind of like just the default Stark suit. And then from there, I put the homemade suit of all three characters, the homemade disguise, the homemade costumes. Then at the bottom, I put Iron Spider. I just do not like that Iron Spider costume, guys. I really don't. I really don't. Yeah, man. Yo, listen, I'm telling y'all, if you have the opportunity, go ahead and check out Dolby Cinema at AMC. It's so good, man. You be in that theater, you be like, yo, what the fuck? I remember, bro, when the first Dolby movie I saw was Star Wars The Force Awakens. I remember, because this is like when Dolby Cinema was first popping. They were giving out free screenings. It was the craziest shit in the world. So I was on Facebook, and my friend sent me the link saying, hey, sign up. You can see The Force Awakens for free at Dolby Cinema. You just have to, you know, like do a little survey afterwards. I said, fuck it. Yeah, free $20 ticket. Awesome. And I went, I saw that, and bro, do you guys remember the scene in Star Wars The Force Awakens where Kylo Ren has Rey? No, it wasn't even that scene. It was the scene where, yeah, it was Kylo Ren, and he had, I think he had Poe in the restraints, right? And there was that scene where Kylo did the Force. And normally, if you were watching on just a standard set of TV speakers, or if you have a surround sound system, you'll hear the Force sound like the, you know? But when you were in that Dolby Cinema theater, bro, the walls were shaking, and I felt the vibration in my chair. I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Oh my God, it was so crazy. And that's why I always love going to see movies in Dolby. Oh, man. Yo, Raimi's Peter was a very angry person. I mean, I get it. He's going through shit. But he was, like, angry, man. That's what gave rise to Bully Maguire. Dun, 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 dun. I love those Bully Maguire memes, man. They're so fucking funny. Did you guys see the one where it was Tobey Maguire and there was the paparazzi taping him? Toby's like, be careful, and the paparazzi was like, I will, and it looked like the paparazzi got hit by a car, and the next thing you see is Toby laughing, and it goes into the fucking da-na-na-na-na-na. That shit was funny, bro. I love it. A $5 super chat coming in from Colin, my boy. Dude, you should do an updated room tour to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the last one. Also, could we possibly see the return of NGS pickups? Has it been 10 years since the last room tour? Jesus. You know, I might do that, considering a lot has changed in this little tiny room of mine. You know, obviously I've had a lot of the posters and all this stuff, but I need to go ahead and get myself a brand new bookshelf to hold all these Blu-rays, man. Because I literally, right now, it's ridiculous, guys. I got Blu-rays stacked on the floor. This is not a good look. This is not a good look. So once I get that Blu-ray shelf, or if I start building shelves, like maybe behind my TV, I could have shelves of stuff. That'll take some time. But yeah, NGS pickups, I mean, I've gotten back into collecting a lot of 4K Blu-ray. I have a couple of 4K Blu-rays coming in tomorrow, so check out Twitter if you guys want to see those. But yeah, I mean, I might have to. I'm really conservative with what I buy these days. I don't just buy things for the sake of. Like, a lot of the time I used to buy stuff was because I thought it was a really good deal. But I come to found that I never even opened some of those things that I thought was a really good deal. So my pickups would be very they'd be very sporadic. So I probably wouldn't do one for like maybe 3 months at a time, because there'll be some months where I maybe pick up 1 or 2 things, and then other months where I pick up like 10 things, because that's just how the nature of like the things I'm interested in when they come out. I ain't like the homie Gore the movie guy when he be doing them updates. I'd be like, damn, Gore, holy shit. But yeah, I think I might open up an eBay page just to get rid of a lot of the stuff I bought that I just still haven't opened for whatever reason. And I bought, because, you know, you're in a different mindset every couple of years. Because I have a lot of PS4 games that I got because they were cheap, and I've never even played them. I've never even fucking played them. You know what? One thing I'm really proud about? I'm happy that I never opened this copy of Gravity Rush Remastered, right? I got this on release, and I never got around to playing it. I think because I just completed on the Vita like the year before, so I was like, I can wait. And then I found out that this game is actually really rare. I think it went down in value, so it's not as expensive as it was before. But I remember in 2017 and 2018, this shit was going for like $200, $300 on eBay. I was like, what the? I think now it's going for like 80, 90 bucks, which is still really good, because I paid 40 for this in 2016. So yeah, man, I have a couple of like random weird shit in my collection that's somehow rare. I don't know. Yeah, but I feel like we all have those things. And shout out to all the new people in the chat. Shout out. Your room better be looking like Gore's. Yo, you know what? One thing I do want to get into when I finally do have a lot of space, I do want to start getting into collecting statues. Like, I love collecting figures. I love, I don't want this to be my new addiction, but my sister got me this as a gift last year, and I don't want this to become an addiction. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh my god, these Nendoroids. They're so cool looking, man. Like, just look how expressive Yusuke looks. Look at his face. Look at Pooh. And then he's got the serious face with the spirit gun. And of course, you know me, I've been Team Spirit Gun since like I first got on YouTube. But these things are ridiculously addictive. Like, if you thought Funko Pops were bad, these things are like Funko Pops on steroids. Oh my god. I just look at them and I'm like, I already know 10 of these that I want. So like, I don't. That's why I don't want to open it. I don't want to open it because I know the second I open it, I'm going to fall in love with it. And I'm like, all right, let's pre-order the next 10. But I do want to get into collecting statues, like really, really robust statues of comic book characters, of anime characters, of video game characters. Like, one of my little, I don't even want to call this like fascinations, but every now and then I go on YouTube and I watch people's statue collections. Like, you know, King from the Iron Lord podcast, he just has a ton of statues, and he has a podcast where he talks about the statues. Like, that stuff looks so cool. Does anyone in here have statues? Do you guys collect statues? All right, let's see. So we got a $5 super chat coming in from Carlos Fontes. Dolby Cinema is incredible. Yes, it is, my friend. Good to see you, Carlos. Hope all is well. By the way, what did you think of Daredevil 2003? Oh, man. Okay, so this is going to be kind of controversial. All right. So you guys, this is going to be a deep cut Neo experience. So here's the thing. I saw Daredevil 2003 in the early 2000s, like most people did, and I really wasn't a fan of it. I didn't like it. I thought Michael Clark Duncan was the only redeeming thing about it. But then I saw the director's cut, and I was like, wow, this is actually a better movie. I can actually watch this and enjoy this and have fun with this. So for a while, I really enjoyed Daredevil 2003's director's cut. I thought it was an infinitely better movie. Obviously, when we got a hell of a lot better adaptation of Daredevil, I was kind of like, I don't know about that movie, man. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Especially that director's cut, and Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is extremely underrated. Like, my god, his performance in that, dude, if they were ever to do a multiverse of madness for Daredevil, and they could have brought him back. Because I love Michael Clark Duncan as an actor. To this day, still watching The Green Mile. Dude, that... Oh my God. Anyone who's seen that movie knows what I'm talking about. So good. So good. But yeah, I know some people are going to be like, Neo, really? Daredevil 2003? I know, but I liked that director's cut a lot. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff. Last of Us Part 2 Ellie statue. Deku. Oh, Corey Gryffindor got some good anime statues. That's what's up, bro. The Square Enix Masterpiece figures. Yeah, those look really cool, man. You know what I would love to get? I would love to get a giant statue of Cloud on his bike with the Buster Blade. Like, I would love to get that statue. I would love to get that. I would love to get a statue of... I don't know how they do this, but I'd love a statue of Spider-Man. I love a statue of Spider-Man. I'm trying to think of the exact pose. Okay, you know the pose of Spider-Man? I think if you've seen the Raimi movies, you know this pose. The pose of You know what? This is... It's not the cover of the first... Because there's so many different covers and posters for these movies. But you know the poster in Spider-Man? The first... Man, let me just pull this up. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh my God. Me trying to explain things does not work, as you know. But I would love to get a statue of this Spider-Man pose. Like, obviously you have the iconic Spider-Man poses and shit, but there's one in particular I love. Hold on, let me find it. All right, come on, Google load. What the heck? The one time I'm looking for this photo, I can't find it. Okay, here it is. Found it. I would love to get this as a statue. Like this exact Spider-Man pose as a statue. I just always loved this. I just always loved this pose. Right? Because he's going through and he's swinging with the momentum. You know? And it's all about the hips. And unfortunately, the lower back. But I'd also like, if I wanted a second Spider-Man pose statue. Of course, this iconic shot from Amazing Spider-Man 1. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah, but like, dude, I could just think and speculate on all these other statues that I want, man. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I see. I know a lot of y'all ain't coming with me on that 2003 Daredevil. Like I said, like everyone's got their guilty pleasure movie, man. But Charlie Cox and that Daredevil season 1 is still the pinnacle. That's still the GOAT. Let's see. How do you feel about the Judgment series potentially being canceled? I'm really enjoying Lost Judgment and it's such a shame. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth going on with the main actors agency and all that stuff, but we really haven't heard anything since. So I'm just going to run with that. Maybe it is still going full force. Because I love Judgment. I love the story that it's telling. Because you know, after a while, you kind of get bored of the Yakuza stories. I mean, it's no disrespect to Kiryu, but we've been with Kiryu for so many years. So sometimes you just want to take a break and do different stuff. Which is why I loved Like a Dragon, because it still had the Yakuza isms, but it was a brand new character, a brand new cast, fresh face. But Judgment just took it to a whole different level, and it's just like, no, we're going to uncover murder mysteries. We're not going to deal with the Toho clan and all the other politics that happen there. This is going to be a detective story. And you guys know, I'm a big sucker for detective stories. I love stuff like Case Closed. Like, I love murder mystery movies like Seven. Like that stuff. I eat that stuff up. That's probably not something someone should be watching at 7 a.m. in the morning, but that's the type of person that I am. So I would love for them to continue it, especially after Lost Judgment. I really enjoyed the story of Lost Judgment. I mean, it had a couple of like goofy moments, and sure, you kind of have to suspend your belief, but it was still really good, man. It was still really good. Oh, wow, you guys really collect figures. Damn, that's awesome. That is awesome, you guys. Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Happy New Year to you too, bro. Oh my God, here he comes in here. And you know what? I might as well just go ahead and wrap up the next comment I'm gonna respond to with a couple of other comments. Because I've gotten a lot of comments from folks saying, yo, Neo, are you a fan of Legend of Heroes? Are you ever gonna get into Legend of Heroes? And sure enough, somebody must have DM'd this dude Black Bond, because here come Black Bond coming in here. And he's just doing that. Man, yo, that's why I'm tired of this dude, Black Bond. Now, you know what? Shout out to Black Bond. That's my homie right there. But yo, listen, all right, I'm going to say this for the 88th time this past 12-month period. I will play Legend of Heroes at some point in my life. I will. And I'll tell you why I had to stop. Because I started playing this franchise back in 2020. I went ahead and I bought Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, right? And everyone's saying, yo, Neo, that's what's up. Enjoy it, man. I said, yay, you know, hooray. Everyone's having fun. I got about 30 hours into the game. And then this individual by the name of Black Bond, or Black Burai, depending on where you follow him, he was like, oh, you got to shut that down now. You got to go back and play the older games in the series. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Asbalon's like, yeah, you should play the older games in the series to get the entirety of the story and the appreciation, but you can still finish Cold Steel 1 and 2 and have fun with that. And I was like, oh, okay. But then Black Bond starts bullying me every single time. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Asbalon, is Asbalon still here? I don't know. Asbalon came through and was like, you know what, Neo? I'm just going to gift you all the games on Steam. Play it whenever you want. Just keep me updated. I said, I bet. So then I started playing it. I didn't even get that far into it because I was like, damn, I really want to play this shit on the Switch, bro. Because, you know, those are like older tier JRPGs compared to like modern standards. So like that type of game I'd want to play on the Switch. So I'm like, you know what? I'll get to it at some point, right? But then, of course, all the other games came out. And the thing about these JRPGs, these are long ass games. Legend of Heroes is not a 20-hour game. That game is 50 plus hours, especially with all the other time you spend in the game. You could put in upwards of 100 hours for each entry, right? And so I was like, damn, that is a massive undertaking to only play that series when there's so many other games I could be playing. And so I said, you know what? I'll get to it at some point, right? And then Bond has just been bullying me for the past 2 years about this shit, man. And every single time Bond bullies me about it, it gets pushed back an extra month. So right now we're looking like Neo's gonna start or restart Legend of Heroes in 2023. But shout out to my homie Black Bond, though. That's the homie right there. He's actually getting ready to come back to YouTube in a big way with on-camera videos. I believe he said like he's going full force starting in February. So go give the homie a follow, go subscribe to him. He's Black Bond. That's all I can say, man. So just go into it and just expect to be surprised. Oh my God. But yeah, Legend of Heroes, from the 30 hours that I did play Cold Steel 1, I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters. I love the combat system, but everything else just put me off because this man Black Bond, I could just be doing something simple like I could post a tweet saying, man, life is great. Black Bond be coming in there saying, oh, actually life isn't great because you're not playing Legend of Heroes. Stop ducking that. I'm like, man, Bond. I could be like, yo, I just got married. Bond's like, Legend of Heroes. What? You don't need to get married until you're 35, Neo. Stop this. Refund the marriage. Swear to God, Black Bond would say that shit. Special support section is confiscating gamer cards. Yeah, so here's the thing. I thought that Black Bond was the homie because we grew up playing old school Square RPGs, not Square Enix, Square and Squaresoft, right? We bonded over our love for The Witcher and everything. None of that credibility matters anymore because I won't play Legend of Heroes. Like that NPC relationship we had went out the window. But I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it, man. Don't worry. Okay, you know what? I promised Asbelont that I would finish the franchise before I get married. And the way these streets is looking, I ain't getting married anytime soon. Oh, God. Someone said, Bond, are you still making 10-hour videos? Oh, man. Nah, I actually really enjoy the long-form Black Bond videos. Did you see Erica Harlacher's Kingdom Hearts Puppet Musical? I did! And if you guys have not seen it, go check out the Kingdom Hearts Puppet Musical. Oh, God. Black Bond's about to leave the stream. He's like, social reject hearts. Neo, have you seen the Star Wars Clone Wars series? Yes, I have. I've seen the mini series and I've seen the full CG series in its entirety. All right, so I'm gonna get onto it. Hey, relax, Trails fans, relax. I'm gonna get onto it. Oh, if only Asbo was here, he'd be like, good. But shout out to y'all. This is a pretty lit stream tonight. Okay, we got to talk about the Troy Baker NFT thing, but before that, the homie Marcus Doyle Terrell, shout out to him, member of the Phantom Weirdos, for 19 astonishing months. Thank you, bro. He asked this question: what are your thoughts on the new Bel Air series? For me personally, it's a skip. Also, what are your thoughts on the recent Fresh and Fit podcast controversy? Oh, you see, Black Bond, you see that part of the question. This man Blonde is going to be like, we will be listening. But yeah, so for those who don't know, a couple years back, there was this, the best way I could describe it is this gritty and dark and gritty trailer, little fan film thing that was posted on YouTube about Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And Will Smith saw that and he decided to bring the people involved with that on board to make a reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel Air in the style of that dark and gritty drama. So essentially what they're doing with this new Bel Air show, which is debuting on Peacock, because who has Peacock, is they're reimagining the story of Fresh Prince in a modern day as a drama. And right then and there, you already lost me, because the thing about Fresh Prince and a lot of those shows that came out in the peak era of black television is that they worked really well because they were able to juggle so many different things. They were first and foremost sitcoms, so they were made to make you laugh, but at the same time, you really growed with the characters and the situations that they went through. The Will Smith that you saw in the very first episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air is not the same Will Smith at the end of season 6, when he's, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old show, saying goodbye to his family, right? And everyone is going their separate ways. There's growth and character development throughout those 6 seasons in the form of comedy, yes, but also really serious and touching content. Will dealing with his absent father, Will dealing with Carlton, and just all the things that come from that. So when you reboot Fresh Prince and you take away that aspect of it being the comedy and you focus exclusively on drama, how does this differentiate itself from every other drama out there? Like, I don't need to see the story of Will, having to get away from gang violence in Philly, and you got to make that super serious. We got it in the context of the show. We understood that. And now taking away that, it makes the show less interesting for me. And they're using the exact same names of the characters. Like, there's no way these characters are going to replace the actors who brought life into those characters. Like, it's not possible. This isn't like a comic book where you have different adaptations, different incarnations doing different stuff. This is a show with characters that already existed. And now, what, you're going to tell the story of someone like Carlton now in 2021? I don't know, man. Everything nowadays is just, it's all about being dark and gritty and trying to capitalize off of everything. And listen, I want to support black content as much as the next person, but I'm not just going to support something because it is X or Y or Z. No, I want to support quality stuff. I'll give it a shot. I'll watch the first episode to see what it's all about. But if you're literally giving me this show that's meant to be dramatic, and that's the thing, if it's a drama, that means every single episode has to be all this super serious subject matter. Like, what, we can't just have a random episode? Like, for example, the Hex episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, right? Where they're all cursed and everything. That's a funny episode. You think the drama is going to do something like that? That means every single episode has got to have stakes to it. That's not fun. That's not fun for the Fresh Prince. You could do something different and call it your own show, sure. But to, like, what? So we're going to have to always have this back and forth about Will being from Philly and how, he's a bad influence to the kids. And then, we're going to have the whole thing about Carlton and his identity problem. And then, Hillary. And then, what, is everyone going to get wrapped up with sex, drugs, money, and murder for every single season, as opposed to those specific episodes from the original show? I don't know, man. Maybe it'll be good as its own thing. But, like, why don't you make it its own thing? Like, was anyone sitting there just thinking, like, and praying to God, I really want to reboot The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a dark and gritty drama in 2022? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just, the reason why it's gonna probably gain some appeal is because it's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's one of the most beloved black TV shows, in addition to one of the most beloved sitcoms of all time. And that's it, man. It's just the comedy, the humor, how everything was balanced is why we love The Fresh Prince. Which is why when you got to the end of the show and everyone is saying their goodbyes, like, still, one of the moments of Fresh Prince that always gets me emotional is when Will is saying goodbye to everybody at the end, and Will is saying goodbye to Ashley. In that scene, Ashley was like, I love you, Will. And then Will hugs Ashley and he's just like, I love you too, Ash. And you can hear his voice quiver a little bit. Because, you know, Ashley was his baby sister and he watched her grow from adolescence into a teenager and young adulthood. Like, that's beautiful stuff. And then Uncle Phil, there's no one out there who's going to be able to replace James Avery and what he brought for that role. I don't, like, imagine if they rebooted any of all these other shows as dark and gritty dramas. Like, no, man. Like, just do your own shit. Leave the classics alone. And the one thing I hate is that everyone says, well, the classics are always going to be there. Why don't you let people try something different? Try something different with your own show then. And just because Will Smith is the one spearheading this doesn't mean it's going to be a great thing. Because remember, Will Smith said yes to After Earth. Will Smith has said yes to a lot of stupid things in his career. And every now and then he gets good stuff like King Richard, which is fantastic. But let's not act like this person, that by that logic, let the creator have say of everything, or someone who's like deeply close to it. By that logic, George Lucas is 100% justified with all of his stupid changes for the Star Wars movies. Like, come on. Dark and gritty Seinfeld. Oh my God. Dark and gritty Seinfeld. You need a sign that just says spoilers that you can have on your table. That'd be nice. I just have like a spoiler thing whenever I'm talking about spoilers, so that way if someone comes into the stream, they'll see it. But I'm gonna say this, Bella, Fresh Prince is still worth a watch. I know you wasn't around when it came out, but if you ever need something funny to watch, just boot up HBO Max and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Dark and gritty, like what? Dark and gritty Seinfeld, dark and gritty. Everybody Loves Raymond, dark and gritty edition. Oh my God, that'd be terrible. Dark and gritty, That 70s Show. Oh God. You know what it is? Because it's much easier, bunny ears quotation, to write a drama than it is to make something funny. Because you got to be talented to be funny. Not everyone can be funny. Like the random Joe Schmo up the street could have no talent in the world. But if he's funny, he's funny. But with drama, like look at the CWs. All their shows are technically called dramas. That doesn't mean they're well-written. Well-written. Well, sound like a weasely wabbit. Let's see. And so the second part, what are your thoughts on the recent Fresh and Fit podcast controversy? Yeah, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So basically these two guys got up here and they was just talking about, like someone, I think they brought up the fact that, what do you think about the Black dating app, which is an app geared towards Black people who want to date other Black people. And they were essentially saying that, no, we don't date Black women and blah, blah, blah. But it went far beyond just having preferences. Like, listen, if you, some people just have their preferences. Like, there's some people who are Black that will only date Black people. They won't date any other ethnicity. There's some people that are Asian that'll only date Asian people, and any other ethnicity. We're not going to get into that whole discussion about that. You know, people, it is what it is. But the way they went about it, and when they were talking about, like, I don't want to date any Shaniquas or Latoyas, or like just really derogatory commentary on Black women, basically shitting on Black women with that. Because if they just came out there and they said, no, you know, I don't really date Black women, that's just me though, you know, people would have a problem with it, but most people wouldn't care. But when you go and you add that negative connotation to it, it's an issue. And I know Black Bond is in the chat, so he's going to do what about, I know you, Bond, you're going to be like, well, what about all these other people who come in here and they say some stuff about men, saying I want a man who's got six figures, 6'8", 260 pounds, all muscle, blah, blah, blah. Like those type of people, we don't entertain. At least I don't entertain it, and most sensible people don't entertain it, right? So that's why I'm choosing not to entertain these dudes and what they say. Because to come out here and say that, like, I don't date Latoyas or Shaniquas, blah, 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 you're already casting them in a bad light, like Black women are inferior. Which I'm like, listen, no one's shit smells better than anyone else's shit. So for them to say something like that, like, I want to see what the type of women they pulling. I really want to see that, because like, if you shit on one race for that reason, then I want to see what you're able to pull. But at the end of the day, I don't deal with people who think with that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just stay in my own lane, I do my own thing, and that's it. Like, I've dated amazing black women, I've dated amazing Latinas, I've dated really good white women, and that's just me, man. I don't characterize people based off of the worst of their race, because if we did that, like, racism would still be around, slavery would still be around, like, all these terrible things would still be around, because people had one terrible interaction with this person and then they justify that as everybody, you know? Hey, what's going on, Dell? How you doing, man? But that's just me. Like, everyone is entitled to think what they want about that situation. I know there's probably a lot of people who are Fresh and Fit fans and saying like, oh, you know, well, that's just their opinion, that's them. I'm like, sure. But at the end of the day, your opinion does not invalidate you for criticism. You know, like, if you're able to talk the talk, you better be able to walk the walk. And if people are throwing shade, it's not like you got to like rush to their defense. Because by that logic, saying, well, it's only okay here, and so we have to defend them here. Like, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where people don't need to be white knight folks over stuff like that, you know? Because if this was anybody else, I don't care if it was him or anyone else saying the same shit, I would have the exact same energy. Just like when I hear women come out here and say stuff like all black men are dusty and yada, 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 I'd be like, no, all the black men you've been dealing with are dusty. Which, again, that's another thing. Like, what women are you dealing with that are really that bad? Like, what circles do you be running in? It's weird, man. Oh, shut up, Adrian. Shut up. Shut up, Adrian. Shut up, Adrian. Oh, I hate you sometimes, Adrian. Yeah. If you're excluding somebody just because of your own viewpoint of what they are, I can't gel with that shit, man. No, I don't deal with those women, Black Bond. I don't deal with those women. For them, it sounds like they be entertaining women like that. It's just like, bro, you just got to filter around and deal with other women, man. Because remember, those same type of black women you be seeing with other races too, man. Like, the amount of white women I've seen who are just like, oh, I want the Brads and the Chads, and these people act like this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let me see the men you've been talking to before. Oh, that's a Brad and a Chad. Oh, he cheated on you. Oh shit, he abused you. Oh, you know, like, people just gotta like know what they're all about. Like, just don't. I don't know, man. We get too much into this shit. Let's run a love advice show. That shit pop. Yo, Adrian, we actually did do something like that last summer. Marcus kept asking all the questions about relationships and dating and all that stuff. Marcus is always really good about asking us different topics. $2 super chat from Flame. Yeah, but what about Tails though? Should I bully too? I be having fun playing other games. Playing, that's all I could say. We could take live callers and everything. Shit, that could be a nice little different show we do to diversify the channel. Maybe we start a different channel for that. Oh, that'd be interesting. We'll get Bond on here. He'll go full on Kev Samuels and that shit. That's why Bond is trying to retire from the game. I've already got the platinum trophy. There ain't nothing left. Hey man, listen, I respect it. Platinum trophy, that's that Jack Move Johnny terminology. But no one Black Bomb. Black Bomb played a lot of sports growing up, so you still got trophies. Wait, do you got trophy? No, you don't got. Do you still got your trophies on display in your room, or you put them somewhere else? Nah, but I'm gonna be real. Since we're talking about relationships for a bit, and I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Gian. Don't worry. I'm gonna be real. Right now, your boy Neo is coasting. I'm just coasting, man. I'm not trying to get tied down. I'm not trying to do any of that, man. I'm just living life. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the companionship, and that's it, man. Like, no stress, no headaches, nobody blowing up my phone, none of those issues, man. I have all the time for me. I have the time for my family. I have the time for the homies. And that's a beautiful thing, bro. That's a beautiful thing. And when I'm ready to get back out there and maybe like settle down and find somebody, they got to be the right one, man. So, you know, Neo, he's going to be vetting. He's going to be doing his vetting process as everybody should. Everyone should always vet. But we just coasting. Chris B is just like, keep coasting. I'm telling you, listen, relationships, if you find the right person, relationships are great. They're awesome. Trust me. But that shit don't work out, man. It just be like, bro, I can't with this. Oh, here he fucking goes. I told you, I can't say anything. Like, yo, I can say anything positive about my life. Like, yo, I just got cast in the next Spider-Man movie, and Black will be in there saying, well, does that character play Legend of Heroes? Because that seems to be the only way you'll ever play that series. Like, this man, Bond, this dude, Bond, man. All right. Let me go ahead and answer. Am I pronouncing your name right, bro? Gian? Is it Gian? Is it Gian? Is it Gian? Because I've been calling you Gian the Don for the longest time. I just want to make sure. All right. So Gian's question: what do you think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure if you've seen it? Oh, who are you talking to? I'm on season 3, the Egypt arc, and I love it so far. It's a weird show, but they do the tropes so well, in my opinion. Yes, dude, I am a huge fan of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I got into it back before part 3 got animated. I remember one of my friends saying, yo, you gotta get on this JoJo show. You gotta get on this JoJo show. And I said, all right, fine, I'll get on JoJo. So I went ahead and I watched part 1 and part 2. I was like, wow, this is interesting. This is different from what I've seen before. Then I ended up watching Stardust Crusaders, and then there was a little bit of a gap in between, so I started reading the manga, and dude, it was just like, it's been hooked ever since, man. JoJo is one of those series where I don't know how the quality of it is able to stay so high, considering JoJo's been around for like, what, 30 plus years? It's very rare that you have a mangaka that is able to sustain a story like that. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that JoJo's, even though it is a continuous story, it's like broken up into anthologies where, yes, you have some characters that will overlap into other seasons, but it's always a fresh face. There's always a different JoJo to get attached to, and a different cast of characters, different set of problems and circumstances. And that's why JoJo, to me, it's always going to be that event series. Like how everyone was hyping up part 6 when it got animated. Like that's something I look forward to every single time it happens. And yeah, JoJo, listen, I know looking at JoJo, you guys, I know it can look very weird. I know everybody looks at part 3 and just sees like these burly men. At the same time, there's some really suspect ass stuff like poses and, you know, like like the first episode of JoJo. Like, was it the first episode of Stardust Crusaders where it was just like that shit? It gets wild. But trust me, JoJo is an experience, man, and it's really good storytelling too. Grimdark, shout out to Grimdark, good to see you, bro. Grimdark brought this up. Phantom Blood of JoJo is still unique, as Araki pulled what no other major shonen writer would do by so Araki did a thing. I don't want to say it for those who are watching and never seen JoJo, but yes, like they definitely, they handle tropes very well. They still adhere to certain tropes, but at the same time, Araki does his own spin on things, and then he just throws you curveballs you don't expect, man. Like there's some stuff you're watching, you're like, wait, that character shows up? I know this character from real life. How, wait, are they mixing in music that I know in real life in here? Like what? Like, dude, Araki, his influences literally come from our day-to-day lives and stuff. It's crazy. It's awesome. What was the worst JoJo part to you? I think part 5 is the worst. I mean, I go back and forth with it all the time. I mean, I really enjoyed Stardust Crusaders, but I do think it was a little too long. It didn't need to be as long as it was. But if we're talking like parts I really haven't gone back and rewatched a lot, I think it would be part 5, but I'm not sure, because the thing is, I haven't really rewatched a lot of anime in recent years. Even the ones I really love, I don't go back and rewatch it often. About the only one I went back and I rewatched like recently, because, you know, with lockdown and everything, I had time, was I went back and rewatched Toradora, Death Note, Erased, Attack on Titan, just to hype myself up for season 4, but I don't really rewatch too many series, so I'll have to see, because I've only seen part 4 once as well. So maybe before part 7 comes out, I'll rewatch every single one of the JoJo parts, because I feel like your favorite stuff, you should rewatch it every 5 years to see if it still is your favorite, if it ranks the same way, or if it doesn't. So I'll have to see. But like, I enjoyed all the JoJo parts. Oops, part 1 spoilers. Yeah. Okay, so I just realized we never talked about the Troy Baker NFT situation. Oh yeah, and I rewatched Yu Hakusho last year because of lockdown and everything. Lockdown is the part of the reason why I got a chance to rewatch and replay a lot of stuff, because when you're not commuting to work and you work from home, it just makes things convenient. Like that extra, hour or two you spend commuting and all that stuff, it makes a difference. But yeah, we never talked about the Troy Baker NFT situation. Y'all ready to talk about this shit? Let's talk about this shit. All right, so NFT stuff, man. It look okay. Shout out to the homie GC Plugs, my boy Bobby coming in, member of the Phantom Weirdos. Evening, everybody. Also, part 5 is lit. Yo, shout out to you, Bobby. I assume you're at work right now, or you might get litty with that homegirl, yo, man. My man Bob, yo. I don't know if y'all saw my man Bobby's Instagram, but this man was lost in the sauce with homegirl, bro. He was lost in the sauce. He was throwing back some sushi. I was like, damn, son. My man's living the life. He living up 2022. Man, I need to get like Bobby challenge. Oh my God. But yeah, so let's I need to take a swig of water before we talk about this shit. And while I do this, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. I haven't even looked at the stats for today to see where we're at. I really haven't. Let me just check that right now. All right. We got 74 viewers, 55 likes. Appreciate that, you guys. Also, I want to know, do you guys like the fact that I do the streams a little earlier in the evening by comparison to later? Does that work with y'all's schedules, or what's happening there? Let me know. Let me know so I know for future streams I'll have like a specific time of when to start them. Mexican Zoidberg, what's good, bro? Good to see you, man. All right, so while you guys answer that, let's talk about this Troy Baker situation. My God. Yeah, so if you guys have been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, the next big on Twitter has been the rise of NFTs, also known as non-fungible tokens, right? And I'm sure you've heard in the gaming industry, it's kind of started to blow up a bit with Square Enix expressing interest in NFTs, and then Konami just flat out saying, we're doing NFTs, period. Here's our Castlevania collection. And there's always been a lot of pushback from people in the industry, not just when it pertains to gaming, but just in general in all forms of media and entertainment. People are not feeling NFTs, and NFTs are one of those new things similar to cryptocurrency where people are very skeptical of stuff that is not really easy to explain. And it took me a few years to understand the concept of cryptocurrency and what that meant. And it took me a few years before I even got interested in the idea of cryptocurrency. But whereas cryptocurrency, I can sort of see where people are coming from. Like I was able to invest a little bit in crypto, but it really didn't do anything for me. So I ended up just pulling out what I had. I can see some of the stuff with crypto. NFTs, on the other hand, and with the way people are pushing it, like you never saw people push crypto as heavy as people are pushing NFTs right now. Crypto really blew up in the past 2 years. NFTs are something that we hadn't seen anything about it, but now we have all these major organizations and celebrities pimping this out. Like Eminem, for example, you guys know, he spent like what, almost $500,000 buying this monkey NFT. And it's so weird because I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe from a logistical point of view, the reason why these people are trying to pimp out NFTs is because they don't want to make the same mistake they did with crypto. Because with crypto, if you weren't a believer in the very beginning, you missed out on a lot of the stuff that people are benefiting on. So I can see it from their point of view that maybe they're thinking this is going to be the next big thing. But that right there is the problem, because now you're viewing it from a business perspective rather than what's best for you as an artist and for your community. And with everything that we've been hearing about NFTs, and I'm not just talking about the talking points you hear on Twitter from people, like bad for the environment, blah, 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 blah. Like everything we're hearing about NFTs, this shit sounds like a scam. everything I've read, like I do my due diligence when it comes to researching stuff before I jump on the bandwagon. I want to see what something's all about. So I remember someone sent me this like long video where it was talking about NFTs, the benefits of NFTs, and everything that they say, why it could change and revolutionize the idea of digital ownership. And I watched that video, and it was just a lot of speculation. It was a lot of speculation, nothing tangible at all, period, point blank. And when something that is so like big, like, you remember that Kevin Hart skit where he's talking about, I don't trust people who do this with their hands when they're talking about something, because they're trying to hype you up on stuff. And when I see all these people saying all those things, well, it could be good, it could be this, and then they're saying stuff like, we're working towards making it more environmentally conscious, like that right there, that's kind of suspect, extremely suspect. And when the only thing you're showing me for NFTs is all these crudely drawn monkeys, like, what are we even doing here? Like, what is happening? So obviously NFTs have a really bad rap right now. Like, no one is buying into this shit. Nobody believes it. And what they're trying to pimp out is garbage. Garbanzo beans, straight basura. But unfortunately, that hasn't stopped people in the industry. Like I mentioned, Square Enix, Konami, and now people that we know as gamers. Like I'm not like, it's one thing to look at the companies and be like, boo. But it's another thing when it's like some of these voice actors who we've watched grow. We've supported them. Like, how many of y'all remember there was a time where Troy Baker used to dub anime? How many of y'all remember some of Troy Baker's earliest anime roles? Anyone who's a fan of Negima? Do you guys remember Negi's father? I know this is like a deep cut, like Negima, what? But yeah, Troy Baker, one of the first roles I saw him was as Negi's father, Nagi. And just to see where he went from there, voicing all these other characters, and then becoming the star that he is in all these video games. And listen, like, no disrespect to Troy Baker. Troy Baker is still to this day one of my favorite working actors. What he's done with characters like Joel, the Joker, Bruce Wayne. Yes, both Bruce Wayne and the Joker. He's a phenomenal actor. But just because someone is phenomenal, that doesn't mean that I need to separate the art from the artist. When you come on board, and his tweet was essentially saying, yeah, I'm going to be doing, I'm paraphrasing this, of course. Yeah, I'm going to be doing NFTs. I don't care what you guys say. You can either hate or you can create. It's just the most tone deaf thing that you could do, especially in an industry where it might seem like the video game industry and the anime industry and all these other industries are really huge. But when you compare it to like other stuff happening in the world, it's really not. Like, yes, video games make a lot of money, but we still have access to the people who make these decisions versus all these other industries where we don't. Like, I think you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about. It's a little more personal. Like, we can get in touch with somebody like Troy Baker. You can't get in touch with the executive of all these evil oil companies and all that stuff. You just can't. So Troy Baker does this, right? And I remember, I could have sworn I made Mexican Zoidberg a mod. No way. I thought I did. Hold on. Let me make you a mod, Mexican Zoidberg. I got to give out some different mods. I haven't done mod powers for this year. Let me add some mods. Mods. You get a mod. You get a mod. You get a mod. Yeah, I didn't do any mods. And Gian. There we go. I got to make one more person a mod. I'll do 5 for this stream. Hey, Grimdark, you're going to be a mod, my friend. So I just, I distributed 5 mod powers for today. All right. So, what the fuck? Nah, I got to do 6. Because I'm surprised Marcus wasn't a mod this whole time. Hold on. Let me make Marcus a mod. There we go. Mod powers. You have mod powers. So yeah, mods. So for those who just got mod powers right now, basically you just keep the chats clean. If there's people spamming, you handle that. You give out, you make sure you give out warnings beforehand. So just let people know, like, hey, you have 1 strike, 2 strikes before we do something. But we run in a pretty civilized circle here, so we don't really get anything. And don't worry, I'll give out more mod powers for later streams, but I just wanted to do a few now. But yeah, back to the Troy Baker stuff. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but he tweeted out this whole NFT support thing, right? With this terrible, terrible, crudely drawn photo, right? He tweeted this out. It was like 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which meant if we're going back Cali time, it was like, what, 11 p.m. at night? So he tweeted this out like late at night. It wasn't something you do like prime time social media engagement hours. So we tweeted this out like thinking nothing would happen. And bro, the way I saw those quote tweets rise, oh, this man was getting dragged in the quote tweets. It was bad, bro. It was terrible. But dude, I've never seen such a massacre on Twitter as I have in that thread. This man had maybe 2,000 likes on the photo and like 40,000 quote tweets, and the comment section was crazy, man. It was insane. Oh, what's going on, Havoc? Oh shit, we got Havoc and his daughter in the chat. Guys, the Ask Neo has gone generational now. We've got Havoc here and we have his daughter watching the stream too. Like, yo, man, it's fucking amazing. I love it. I love to see it. Oh yeah, Mexican Zoyer, we made you a mod, bro. We made you a mod. Yeah, so Troy Baker, he was getting his ass handed to him, man. The quote tweets were brutal. And, you know, it wasn't just fans. I'm not saying this to, like, discredit fans at all, but it was people in the industry, his fellow voice actors, people who got their start in the industry because they looked up to Troy Baker and they wanted to be like him. And then, I don't know if y'all noticed this. I don't know if y'all peep this, but... And then... Troy Baker got unfollowed by Funimation. Not only that, but the next day, Funimation put out a tweet saying everyone disliked that, which, you know, everyone disliked that is a meme. It comes from Fallout, and people post it where it's just like, wow, you did a really shitty thing. People hate it. And they posted that with no context whatsoever. They didn't tag him. They didn't do anything. Hey, Mexican Zoidberg, you better relax, man. You're already powerful enough being a Mexican variant of Zoidberg, but relax, relax. But dude, to get unfollowed by Funimation, which is how you got your start in the industry, bro, that's wild, bro. That's insane. How does that happen? Oh, God, but... yeah, I haven't really been following too much. You better relax, Zoidberg. I haven't followed too much about the Troy Baker situation since. All I remember was his response. And here's the thing about Troy Baker. Like I said, I love Troy Baker as an actor. But Troy Baker, you guys ever see how he responds to criticism? Like, it's not like he takes the Dan Slott approach where he blocks people and insults people. But he does the whole... I'm gonna call it the theater kid routine. He makes it very performative. Like, he'll say a whole bunch of stuff where it's like, dude, can we just get an answer about this? Like, I need to read y'all this shit because you need to understand what's wrong with this. All right, and let me put it into context. So there have been a few other actors who've gotten into this NFT stuff. Tara Strong, for example, which really broke my heart because, you know, Tara Strong literally voiced all of my childhood. Tara Strong, Rob Paulson, Greg Sipes, Karen Straussman, Chuck Huber, a lot of those people. But the thing about Rob Paulson is he got into the NFT thing. A lot of people gave him flack for it. Then he's like, you know what? Until I'm fully informed about what NFTs are, I'm going to rescind my support for them, which is a logical and sensible thing to do. Troy Baker, on the other hand, and literally that's what Rob Paulson said. I'm paraphrasing it, but he said basically like, I'm not educated enough. I jumped on this without knowing. I apologize. But this is what Troy Baker said. Damn, he lost almost 10,000 followers. Holy shit. But this is what he said. All right. I always want to be a part of the conversation, even if it's sometimes that finds me in the midst of a loud one. Appreciate y'all sharing your thoughts and giving me a lot to think about. I'm just a storyteller out here trying to tell my story to whomever will hear and hoping I can help others do the same. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm grateful there are those who are passionate about their stance and not only feel safe to express that, but also have the means to do so. The hate/create part might have been a bit antagonistic. Hope y'all will forgive me for that. Bad attempt to bring levity. Anyway, feel free to resume the conversation, or not, as you please. I appreciate those with truth showing it, those who support offering it, and those with anger doing their best to express with it. Like, bro, did you really need to type all 3 of these tweets out? And you could tell he's passive aggressive when he's speaking this stuff. Like, Troy, you're a grown ass man. You've been in the game too long. You've been in the game too long to not know how this would how people would react to shit. Like, bro, I'm just a storyteller out here trying to tell my story. Like, bro, just say you're sorry. Like, I don't need all this fucking performative shit. I don't. This is like, you know what this is? This is like, have y'all ever gone to look up a recipe for something? Like, for those who get into cooking and everything, have you ever gone to look up a recipe? Like, let's say, for example, you're getting into cooking steak. Like, how do you cook the best kind of steak? Whatever. Have you ever looked up a recipe and you see people and they say they give you like the whole life story of themselves before they get to telling you about the steak and how to cook it? Like, they're telling you about, like, you know, like, here's how you make the best pan-seared steak, you know? But let me just tell you the story about how I met my husband. We were in Colorado and we were both on this ski trip, and man, we went to this one dining establishment and they had just this incredible steak, and I could tell just from when the smell wafted into my nostrils, I just felt like this was the right moment in time. Like, that type of dumb shit. I'm like, bro, just tell me, what the fuck do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? Do I gotta add some rosemary? Do I have to add some garlic? Do I put butter before, or do I put butter while it's cooking? Like, I hate when people do that shit. And that's what I see with Troy Baker, man. I see it. It's like, you could ask Troy. I'm like, Troy, you just saw the new Joker movie. What did you think? And this motherfucker will give you a 40-piece dissertation on everything about society in the commentary before saying it's a good movie or not. Like, I hate when people do this shit. Exactly, Bella. I just want the food, not the life story of your cow. But you know what, Bella? Let's talk about the cow, right? And the emotions that it was going through in life. It was pasture raised, got a chance to roam, and that influenced the quality of meat. It lived a stress-free life, and that's what's reflected in the meat that was used to cook this steak. Like, I hate when people do this shit, bro. Neo sounds like Troy whenever he tries to dodge Black Bond's comment. Adrian, no, I just be telling Bond, I be putting Bond in his place. I be like, no, listen. And just with, you know what I do with Bond? I be like, every time Bond tries to crack a joke, I'm like, yesterday's price is not today's price. Legendary Heroes got pushed back to 2024. Like, so that's what I do with Bond. But yeah, it's just like, dude, come on now. And I think the funniest thing was when he replied to oh god, I gotta pull this up. This shit was beautiful. This is not, I did not expect this to be a Troy Baker dumping session. That sounded really weird out of context. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Hold on one sec. Okay. So this is coming from Jason Schreier, and I know people have a love-hate relationship with Jason Schreier. People think he's a sensationalist. He's out to, you know, all he cares about is the controversy in gaming industry, whatever. He's a really good reporter. He works for Bloomberg. But the funniest thing is he put out this tweet back in 2020, and it was just a simple tweet. He said, video games are too long. That's it. Probably just a harmless tweet, or maybe he was doing it to spark discussion. I don't know. But bro, Troy Baker quote tweeted that, and he said, I'll just leave this here. He posted a quote from Theodore Roosevelt saying, the man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. He posted this quote because a man on the internet said video games are too long. I can't with this shit, bro. I can't with this shit. Like, why? Is this real life? Is this beautiful? I cried. Like, bro. Sounds like a 13-year-old wannabe deep person at 3 in the morning. Yo, shout out to Bella. Shout out to Bella for that. Neo doing ASMR. Oh man. Now listen, I was just trying to flex my acting chops for that Doki Doki stream. I'm trying. Nods emotionally. Yes, NKDN. Oh god, but yeah, Troy Baker is that tight, bro. Like, it's just like, dude. Listen, okay, I'm gonna say this. There's some man's ego is too long. Listen, there's some things sometimes that I want to tweet that I keep to myself, right? There might be some things I disagree with that I want to speak on, but I'm like, you know, it is what it is. And then there's some other times where I just speak on it just cause. But you have to think about posting this quote for something so harmless as video games are too long. That's like me saying pineapple on pizza is disgusting. And then Troy Baker posting that. Oh my god. I want to do that. That should be the new trend. We just say like just some random thing, like 4 words, and then just put the Troy Baker thing on top of it. Oh my god, I could see that, bro. I could see that, but man, that tweet should have stayed in the drafts, bro. Like, there's just like just because you got a platform does not mean you need to say it. Oh my god. But yeah, that Doki Doki stream is coming back. I was gonna do it last week, Naruto, but you remember how my voice was going by the end of the Ask Neo, so I had to push that. But my voice is it's feeling back to normal now that I've recovered from COVID. So yeah, man, probably tomorrow, depending. I'll see. Celebrities should be banned from Twitter. Dude, this is right up there with Gal Gadot when she was doing that Imagine video. Oh my god. But yeah, everybody in the industry just sounded off on Troy Baker. And listen, whether you agree with NFTs or not, everyone has their right to an opinion and to express that opinion. So it is what it is with Troy, man. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm still gonna enjoy the stuff he does because he's a great actor. So it's not like I'm not gonna play a game that has Troy Baker in it. How the fuck am I supposed to know? Sometimes you don't even know until the game comes out. But man, you know what the funny thing is about Troy Baker? He left Twitter before. He might have left Twitter like 10 times at this point. But he left Twitter because he just couldn't handle the discourse of, well, online discourse. And unfortunately, there is some vitriol that comes with it, but it's how you navigate it. Like, our circle here, we're mostly positive, but at the same time, we can get negative when necessary. But the important thing is we don't humor the negativity from people that don't matter. Like, we can come in here and we can disagree about stuff, and that's fine because we have mutual respect for each other. But if a troll comes in here and they leave like a racist comment, we're just gonna be like, wow. Because at the end of the day, those people are taking the time out of their day to act a fool, right? It's like, I didn't come to your page. I didn't come to your page. You came to mine. So that's why I don't think nothing of it. So if I see a racist comment someone leaves, I just laugh at it. You know, like, that's just how I navigated after 14 years of doing this. Like, it's literally just, wow, somebody, they thought that much about me to come to my page to give me a view and leave a comment as racist as it is. I'm like, thank you. Because remember, you're living in their head rent free. Oh, man. Well, yeah, that's that Troy Baker situation. Dude, this comment section was fucking funny, bro. Like, wow. Twitter is one hell of a drug. You have to treat that platform like a rehab place. Yeah, David. And bro, that's why I'm glad I have a very healthy relationship with social media. I only go on social media when I want to. I don't feel inclined to. Which is why some people wonder, like, Neo, why aren't you always active all the time to know about these things? Because I want to do other stuff. I want to read books. I want to hang out with friends out here. I want to play games with people. You can do other stuff. But people legit get addicted to this, which I don't think is very healthy because I don't care what people say. You don't really know a person until you know a person. And social media, you're only seeing one aspect of a person. There are people who have like followed me on Twitter and then they see my YouTube videos and they're like, wow, you're like such a more expressive person on here. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm in my element and I talk. But it'd be different if I actually got to know you as a person. It's very different. But yeah, most people who know me, they know I'm exactly like this in the real. I'm exactly the same way. Like, if you run into me at a convention, this is what it is, man. Troy probably never admits when he passes gas. Oh my God. No, he'll tell you a story about it. He'll tell you a story about him and how one time he wanted to hold in a fart, and he'll relate it back to how he almost walked out of the edition of The Last of Us. Troy's that type of person to relate holding in a fart to him almost walking out on his audition for Joel. I can see it. $4.99 super chat coming in from the homie Staggervore. So I heard the G4 TV revival is not going so well. Have you watched any of it? Oh, Stagger. Well, first off, it's good to see you, bro. We actually had a whole discussion on the controversy a while back in the stream, so I don't know if you want to check it out later. But we went in depth with everything. But to answer your question, I have not watched G4. I mean, I watched like some of the new reviews they did, but you know, a lot of stuff has changed for me and how I absorb content, and all of my favorite content doesn't come from official outlets. I watch a lot of YouTubers. That's how I get my entertainment and my when I'm looking for different opinions on stuff. So for me, the era of G4 is like, I don't really care about it because I have so many other things like Iron Lord Podcast, like Defining Duke, like Sacred Symbols, like so many other podcasts, like Weapon Wheel Podcast, Press Star Podcast. There's so many other avenues out there that I don't really need a professionally... I don't need a staged show where people are limited on what they could say. Because let's be real. Like, anyone here is a fan of Weapon Wheel Podcast. You know how wild it gets on there. You can never do Weapon Wheel Podcast on that level. Like, I'm waiting for the day where we can get a podcast like Weapon Wheel on that level where it's really unfiltered and you don't have to police yourself, you know? But, you know, that'll probably never happen just because of the nature of advertisers and all that. And we have you. Oh, thank you, Stagger. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I mean, every now and then I do, like, I know when to get very professional. Like, if you guys see me on the IGM podcast, I'm still me, but I'm not as liberated, which obviously I'm not on. That's not my show. So I can't be 100% liberated. I can only be myself within that confine. But if you see me here or Weapon Wheel or whatever, it can go off the rails. We can just say wild stuff. Like I could not do this Troy Baker rant I did on an official podcast for, I don't know, Bloomberg or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have to be very scripted in a certain way. I'd probably have to talk to a PR representative about what you can and can't say, what is slander versus what isn't. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate all the support, you guys. Thank you. Twitter is where all nuance dies. I mean, yeah, the thing is, like, hey, Fuzzy, what's going on, bro? Wagwan. The thing about us is, like, we kind of just understand that Twitter is just this little fun place that we go and hang out. But some people take that shit seriously, and I don't know. It's so weird to me because I feel like a lot of us have been in the social media age long enough to realize that none of the stuff online really matters. Like, all you have to do is just turn off your phone and hang out here in the real world and hang out with your friends. Like, no one really cares. Like, I remember I put up a comment on something on Twitter. I put out a tweet and had a random troll in there saying something stupid, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like, it's not gonna be like, that person said that thing. I'm like, bro, it's not that serious. Oh my god. So let me answer Colin's question real quick. Why do you think Hollywood is so obsessed with dark and gritty? It's hard not to respect things that are just happy and perfectly fine with being happy. Oh, you're talking about DC and why they don't want to do a Superman movie? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you why they're obsessed with dark and gritty stuff. Because of the Dark Knight. I'm not trying to make a joke, but this is actually how it is. Because the Dark Knight proved that you can have a serious storytelling, like a serious perspective, serious storytelling, great writing, great characterization, all that stuff, and have Gen Pop take it seriously. Because the problem for the longest time is that a lot of people, they couldn't take the more comical stuff that happens in comic book movies seriously. Like, of course, we had the success of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, but everything else around them was just trying to, like, ground itself in serious tone and nature. And it works if it's a serious source material, but the thing about these comics is that they have goofy shit in there. Like, that's one thing I'm kind of glad about the Matt Reeves movies, is that the Matt Reeves movie is not shying away from the fact that the Penguin is a deformed looking person. You know, I thought they were going to take the Gotham approach, and I didn't like the Gotham approach of Penguin until like the very end where they made him look like the Penguin, but it's very weird looking. Like you need to have some goofy shit in there. Like Spider-Man Homecoming, you got this dude he's called the Vulture, and he has these vulture wings and this look. They make it work. They make shit work. But there's a period in time where a lot of people, they just don't care about that stuff. And I'm also be real. Dark and gritty is much cheaper by comparison to comic book accuracy. It's much easier for everyone to have cheap black looking costumes rather than really colorful, articulate designs that have, oh my God, even the shred of originality attached to it. Like those X-Men movies. Why do you think they put everybody in black? Well, all we have to do is just get your measurements and that's it. You know, versus the Marvel movies where, okay, we actually have to sit down and design Captain America's suit and design Thor's costume, design Ant-Man and design everything. And so, yeah, there's a budget reason behind it as well. But yeah, people, they balance. It's like we were talking about before, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There can be balance in something. Something can be lighthearted and fun, but also be very serious. A lot of Superman stories are like that. Superman is this beacon of hope, this symbol of optimism, but the stories aren't afraid to talk about some serious stuff when it happens. But it never shies away from it being the beacon of optimism. But yeah, it all comes back to people not being, I don't want to say this because I feel like I'm just throwing people under the bus, but people just not being talented enough, you know, and executives thinking they know what's best for people and blah, blah, blah and everything. Like, listen, bro, you could do a Transformers movie that's just Transformers, no human characters. And I guarantee you people will eat that shit up. Just make it really good. But yeah, it's that stigma that they preconditioned people, or I should say they thought this is what people wanted. Like the whole Fantastic Four reboot. Oh, we're gonna make a dark and gritty Fantastic Four movie. A dark and gritty Fantastic Four movie? Like, bro, what? That is the last property that needs to be dark and gritty. If anything, Fantastic Four should be slightly campy in some respects. It should be lighthearted and fun. What was the first anime you ever watched? Okay, so this is kind of a trick question because I watched a lot of cartoons that I didn't know were anime at the time. So I didn't know Pokemon was anime. I didn't know Sailor Moon was anime. I didn't know Dragon Ball was anime. I didn't realize there was such a thing called Japanimation until I got my first issue of Shonen Jump in the early 2000s. So by this point, I was like 7, 8 years old. And that's when I opened it up and I realized that, oh, this is anime and this is manga. They're different. Wow, I didn't know there was a distinction. I knew that the show, like Dragon Ball, was different than SpongeBob, but I didn't know that it was like, oh wow, this is actually a different way of storytelling. So the first anime that I watched knowing it was anime was Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, and wow, that was the $5 super chat from Michael Wells. I was reading your question from up top, bro. Okay, so yeah, $5 super chat from Michael Wells. What was the first anime you ever watched in your life? So yes, Yu Yu Hakusho was the first one I was cognizant of, but you know, I grew up watching Pokemon and Dragon Ball and you know, Sailor Moon and things like that. Tenchi Muyo as well. Neo, what do you think about the Promised Neverland? Oh man, Promised Neverland, yo. Promised Neverland is an amazing anime. It's a shame it never got a second season though. What a shame. Why is Bobby Shmurda trending? I don't even want to know. Oh, dude, Asbelon, you're speaking my language. Yo, did any of you guys ever play those Transformers games on the 360 and PS3? Not the movie ones, but like War for Cybertron, Fall for Cybertron. Dude. So underrated, so friggin' underrated. I wish that they would remaster them joints, man. I know they did and they didn't. They made it backwards compatible, but then Activision had the rights to it and the rights lapsed, and now we don't have them anymore. So it just exists in this limbo. But man, those are fun. Those are fun. But nah, just going back to what Bella's question was, yes, I loved The Promised Neverland. I saw the entire first season. I saw part of season 2, and then when I saw they were doing some spooky shit, I stopped watching, and I was like, Yo, The Promised Neverland season 2 is some of the funniest shit I have ever seen unfold on Twitter. Cause dude, you just saw people saying, like, I've given up hope in life because of what they did to the Promised Neverland season 2. Like, bro, Streets is done. Streets is done after Promised Neverland season 2, bro. Like, how do you have this story and you skip to the very end of the story in season 2? Shit was so dumb, bro. So yeah, spoilers for Promised Neverland season 2. Do not watch Promised Neverland season 2. Read the manga. Manga's pretty good. Yo, dude, I'm telling you, everybody lost hope. Like, hope and optimism was gone. Like, dudes were like, I will never, obviously they were joking, but they're like, I will never hype up an anime ever again. Let's see. Have you read Platinum End? I haven't. I remember some people were telling me to check out Platinum End, Ash, but then a lot of people are also saying, don't do it. It's easily one of their worst series. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, some people are saying, like, it's an interesting premise, but it never really goes anywhere. That's what I heard, you know? Dude, I'm telling you, they got to bring back those Transformers games, bro. Please. Nah, bro, that shit was killing me. That shit was killing me, bro. Like, it was so funny, bro. Like, yo, the craziest thing is when you saw Japan Twitter and you would translate some of the tweets from Japanese. Dude. Oh my God. Oh, Aaron, you sent me some IG photos? Nice. I'm gonna check that in a bit. Bro. Yo, those Transformers games, I'm telling you, it was heat, man. Oh, and you know what also? Transformers Devastation, that Platinum Games made, that was pretty solid too. If you guys never played that was pretty good. How do you feel about Persona 4 Arena Ultimax coming to the PlayStation 4 and Switch before Persona 4 Golden? It's just Atlas being Atlas, my friends. Like I said, Atlas does not understand the concept of money. And even when they have a bona fide hit, they just don't do anything with it. Like, I don't understand how it was easier for them to do Ultimax. Or, okay, maybe from an engine perspective, I think it was easier to bring over a fighting game versus Persona 4. But then they ported it to PC anyway, so they already had to port it in the first place. It makes no sense. Atlas, this is gonna sound really racist, but the thing about a lot of these Japanese companies is that they're not really in tune to the community. They still live in a very narrow bubble of their own, like their own country and what people want there versus social media and what the world is interested in. And sometimes that's very good. In the case of, you know, when everything was trying to be everything was trying to be a Call of Duty clone, a lot of Japanese games like Resident Evil tried to up the action, up everything. Michael Bay it, you know? I don't like that. I like sometimes adhering to your roots and making games that appeal to your target audience and demographic and people like them, and then modernize it to an extent. But there's just some situations where it's like, listen, people are begging you to bring the Persona games to modern platforms. Persona 4 was for the longest time. Why did my TV just turn on? I don't know, man. So now my TV just turned on. I'm watching one of my fitness YouTube channels. He's doing a grocery haul and it just turned on for some reason. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but they're like literally they're in the grocery store picking out a sweet potato. I don't even know how this shit turned on. That shit is so weird, bro. Yo, my TV's, you know what it is? Every time I put my PS5 into rest mode, this happens. For whatever reason. Ghost. It's spooky, Fuzzy. I'm telling you, it's spooky. But yeah, man, it's I don't even know what we were talking about. Yeah, so Atlas, like, bro, I've heard rumors that they might bring Persona 3 remastered this year. But come on, man. Atlas is coming for you, bro. Maybe. Listen. But I just like, why? Like, people want Persona 3 and 4. People have been saying this for years. Persona 5, believe it or not, guys, came out 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, 5 years ago in the West. And all this time, you're just like, you know what? Let's wait 4 years to bring Persona 4 to PC, and it's a resounding success. Now it's been 2 years, and then, no, we're not going to bring it to consoles. Like, what? say what you want about Square Enix and Capcom for porting all their games, but at least they know what people want. At least they know. I mean, then again, they did disrespect Switch owners with that Kingdom Hearts collection. Oh my god. How do you bring Kingdom Hearts games over and they're cloud streaming? Have you ever seen an old anime called Samurai Pizza Cats? I've heard of it. Never really watched too much of it outside of some clips. But yes, I'm aware. Japan does foster a very sexist culture. There's evidence of medical schools manipulating admissions for women applicants to exclude them, for one example. Dude, I'm not surprised. And you know, Grimdark, this is the funniest thing. It's so funny when I hear these weirdo anime dudes online saying, you know, nothing is political in anime, nothing is political in Japanese video games. Like, you know how you hear those weirdos? And it's so funny because they act like Japan isn't an actual place that has its own set of problems. They think talking politics is unique to the United States. It's so weird. But if you look at a lot of Hideo Kojima, oh my god, people do not realize the amount of politics that are in the Metal Gear Solid games. Period. Point blank. And all the other franchises that exist. Serial Experiments Lane, old school anime fans. If you watch the Japanese version of that and you anti-American sentiment in that show. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Hideaki Anno's commentary on a lot of things happening in Japan. A lot of stuff produced in Japan is a commentary on their own society or society of the world, Western cultures and all that stuff. Yet all these anime dudes, these weirdos, don't see that. It's just so funny to me. Final Fantasy VII is a big anti-capitalist game. Somehow they don't see that. They're just like, no, it's about Cloud and this and Sephiroth and this. I'm like, oh, okay. So you just missed the whole Avalanche thing in the background. That literally, that's what they're going up against and fighting. Okay. It's just so crazy. And the thing is, like, I always hear from people saying that Japan handles political stuff better than the United States. The only reason people are saying that is because the content that they're consuming here, they can understand in their native language. The content that's in Japan, you are only ever going to understand that truly if you speak and read and understand the language, because everything we're seeing right now is just a translation of it. And translations are not the genuine article and the understanding of certain things, especially for something like Neon Genesis Evangelion. We can enjoy it, but people in Japan, the reason why that show is revered in Japan is because of what Hideaki Anno was trying to say. Same thing for when he did Shin Godzilla. That was a big commentary on the political system in Japan. Sure, people here, we're just gonna be like, oh, hi, it's goofy, blah blah blah. That system is so incompetent. But there were a lot of Japanese viewers who saw that movie and they're like, yeah, it's pretty spot on to a lot of things. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I find interesting and funny when people say that, oh, like there's no politics in Japanese media. I'm like, bro, there's politics in everything. You know, whether you think it's shoehorned in or not is irrelevant because you don't understand the language and understanding it to the intent of the audience that it was made for. You know, like it's just so weird when I hear people say, keep politics out of my games. What's your favorite game? Metal Gear Solid. People just don't like when politics they don't agree with are in games. That's all it is. That's literally all it is, bro. That's literally all it is. Like, dude, Persona 5. Like, oh my god. I just don't. Oh man. But anyways, there was a point I was the planet is dying, Cloud. Yes. There was a point I was making about what were we talking about before this? We were talking about something. Okay. Oh yeah, Grimdark. The whole sexist culture. I mean, that's the sad thing about Japan. Do you know that in Japan, you are considered the scum of the earth and like nobody ever wants to deal with you if you get caught with drugs? Yeah, if you get caught with drugs in Japan, that's like being blacklisted in the industry. Meanwhile, this is very terrible, the mangaka of Rurouni Kenshin, one of my all-time favorite series, the mangaka of that got caught with not going to say it because of the advertisers, but he got caught with CP. CP. And anyone who knows, you know what CP is. He got caught with that. And in the culture of Japan, that is literally just a slap on the wrist and you pay an $1,000 fine. Whereas if someone got caught with drugs, I'm not trying to say that like kids do drugs. I'm not trying to say that at all. But just look at how different of a culture Japan is, where they will go the extra mile. And if someone gets caught with drugs, they will blacklist them from the industry, take them out of a property, recast them. That's what they had to do with the first Judgment game. Yet CP, that is just A-okay. And you could come back and you can create new stories. And then when you have your fellow mangaka sticking up for you, like that's an example of how things in other countries are very different, how things in other countries can be very, very fucked up. Very fucked up. No, not Club Penguin Pie Studios, not Club Penguin. But I'll say this, like the target demographic for Club Penguin, that's another hint. And it's insane, dude. Like if you look at Japanese culture, if you look at the disparity, like people want to talk about a wage gap in the West, dude, go to Japan and see how they prioritize things and cultures. Like, why do you think the Japanese birthing rate is so low? Because of what this culture has done, right? This culture has done to not just women, but men in general. Like this culture of, you know, just you work until you die. No type of freedom of expression, none of that stuff. Everything in the confines of what is good for the society, not as what is good for the individual. And that's why a lot of people just give up. They become recluses. They become, I believe the term is hikikimori. They did a whole show about it. Welcome to the NHK about this. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. That's why I always tell people, like, if you don't think all these other countries that produce this content they don't have their own set of issues, like you're extremely naive. Extremely naive. That was the author of Rurouni Kenshin. But yeah, I'm going to switch gears from this topic because obviously I don't want to get the YouTube bots and everything. So we'll answer a few more questions. I really don't want to wrap up the stream for the night, but we've been going almost 3 hours and your boy is hungry. So we'll answer a few questions real quick. Adrian, I know you asked something. So yeah, get your last minute questions in, you guys. If I didn't answer it, comment below. Okay, so this might stir up a war, but what happened to the days of games coming out complete day one and not needing DLC patches to fix it? Honestly, bro, it's because of the internet. It's because of the internet, the advancement of technology, the ability to patch games later down the road, and just in general, the way we consume content. So with a lot of these companies, they're desperately trying to push out more and more content to satiate the needs or the perceived needs of the user, of the consumer. So they feel as if like, okay, we have to push out all this content, you know, like screw, you know, what's best for the game and long-term, like longevity of the game and what it means to people. Just get this game out, fix it later. And we've seen that time and time again. No Man's Sky, Fallout 76, Outriders, Halo Infinite, for example. It doesn't matter like whether or not you enjoyed those games, but it's just a fact. Halo 3. Why is Halo 3 a more feature complete game than Halo Infinite? Technology should have gotten better, yet we're getting fragments of an experience. And I understand that, yes, games are way bigger than they were in 2007. And what goes into games now, everything being online, the functionality that comes with that, yes, obviously you're going to need patches. But when you're telling me that I got to wait 6, 7, 8 months for co-op campaign, or I got to wait weeks for you to address game breaking bugs, I can see why people are apathetic to things. Now, this is less of an issue when it comes to single player stuff, because single player stuff, literally, you live and die based off that first experience. But as we've seen with Cyberpunk 2077, some people are just like, just wait. Oh my God, I'll never forget this guy. So I had someone who followed me I think he was a new subscriber from the Xbox One X video. I had somebody follow me, and you know, when the Cyberpunk situation was coming out, you know, I was like rightfully so pissed off because I bought the game. I bought 2 copies actually, one for me, one for my brother. And I was pissed off because it's like, yo, how the fuck did you ship this game like this? What in the world? And then this dude was telling me, oh, you stop being ungrateful. Games are hard to make. Devs are tired. Just wait for the patch in February. I'm like, okay. And like, this is where I had to bite my tongue with this because I didn't want to go this far. But in my mind, I was thinking, this stale looking piece of white bread. Are you telling me that a game that I paid $60 for in December, I have to wait 2-3 months for it to be fixed? And joke's on them, that next gen patch did not come out in February 2021. It's still not out now. And we're closing in on February 2022. But it's just that mindset of people being conditioned. And when you condition people to expect less, that's it. This is fine. This is okay. And that's the depressing part. Like Returnal, listen, I understand Returnal works great now, but the first 2 months of Returnal, that game was not working right. Game breaking bugs, game kept crashing, save data deletion. And with a game like Returnal, which is you know, it's all about how best your run is. If your system crashes and you lose all that progress and there was no way to save it, you're fucked. You're fucked. But people said, oh, don't worry about it. They're going to patch it. They're going to patch it. Like, it's just irritating. But yeah, it's just a problem that's been going on for the longest time, man. Like, remember there were days where we used to have cheat codes in games. Now we have to pay for that. We have to pay for big head mode and all these other weird things. It's kind of sad. Let me see. Adrian, what was your question? I'm trying to find it. Okay. Neo, what is your holy grail in gaming? What game do you want the most? Mine is Cubivore on the GameCube. So I'm not really big into game. I mean, you see my collection, but I'm not really big into collecting a lot of games. So I don't really know if there's like a physical copy of something I'd really want, because I know like a lot of retro game collectors, they're big into like tracking things down. Okay. If I had to like want something, I would want an original cartridge of Final Fantasy VI. Cause every single time since that I've played Final Fantasy VI has always been via another version, whether it was ported somewhere or I played it on an emulator, but I don't own an original cartridge of that. I own Chrono Trigger. I own a lot of the SNES RPGs, PlayStation 1 games as well, but Final Fantasy VI, that's the elusive one for me. I mean, I haven't even checked to see like how expensive it is, so it could be like, oh, $30. Oh, go ahead, go buy it, Neo. But yeah, like I really haven't given it that much thought of something I want. What about you guys? Like, I know this is more geared towards collectors and everything, but I don't know. I feel like I have most of the things that I'd want in my collection because I usually buy them when they come out. Maybe some variant game consoles, like different color. Like I like translucent stuff. So maybe like a translucent PlayStation 2, possibly. Ooh, I would like that white Vita. That white OLED Vita. That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. Must be nice. $4.99 super chat coming in from Staggervore. Live action Mega Man is coming. I don't know if I should be excited or pessimistic. You may have already covered this topic. Yeah, we talked about this a few weeks ago, Staggervore, but yeah, I mean, it's similar to all the other live action anime, video games, things like that. I don't expect anything good to come from it. The only good live action thing we've gotten recently based off of a video game has been the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And even then, it's only decent at best. It's not like it's going to win any awards. I'm not saying it has to, but it's not like we're looking at that like, yo, Captain America Winter Soldier is one of the best comic book movies. It's just like everything else before it is shitty, and you're not shitty, so you're great. So yeah, I don't have hope in anything because they just have their D teams working on these things, like D team directors, music video directors, commercial directors, like no one with a vision. It's usually just like pushed by executives. Like, how the fuck do you reboot Resident Evil and the reboot is worse than the last couple of movies? I don't understand that. But yeah, Mega Man, I would much prefer it to be animated. Just because the proportions of Mega Man would look weird in live action. Like what, you could have Mega Man standing next to fucking John Cena or something? That'd be weird, bro. Pokemon fans expect less every year. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's where it started. Pokemon fans. Yep. Oh, okay. So yeah, like a sealed launch copy of Halo 2 signed by Steve Downs would be your true grail. Yeah. So I guess like if I had sealed copies of, you know, games that really meant a lot to me. So I think if I got Kingdom Hearts 2 signed by, whether it's the English cast or the Japanese cast, I would love to have that. What else? Witcher 3 probably signed by Doug Cockle, because I love his Geralt voice. It's awesome. But yeah, like it's just stuff like that. All right, let's see. A couple more questions and we'll head out. Have you watched the Netflix Shaman King anime yet? I have not. I haven't really heard the greatest things about it. I heard it's only okay. And when I hear something that's like, yeah, it's only okay, that doesn't really push it up my list. If I hear something is dope as fuck, like Vinland Saga, because that's what Asbel, he recommended that to me a while back. I was like, okay, I'll watch that, and it was just freaking amazing. What's your favorite / least favorite Smash Ultimate DLC reveal trailer? So my favorite is going to be the Sephiroth one. That shit was so fucking badass. I mean, it kind of goes back and forth with the Persona 5 one, because that was so unexpected, especially for like what, the first DLC fighter. You have Joker. Wow. Least favorite. Oh. See, here's the thing. Like, I'm not really big into Smash like that, so I don't know if there was like a really like a low impact trailer for me. I have my highlights, but low impact. Probably the ones that I could see coming a mile away and I just don't care about. So I guess Steve from Minecraft. I didn't really care much for that. I mean, it was a cool trailer, but like, I don't hate any of the like the DLC trailers. I'm just like, yeah, okay, it's alright. It's a character trailer. But if it's really good, like Joker, like Sora, like Sephiroth, I'll be like, okay, cool. All right, last few questions, and I'm already running on fumes, guys. Let's see. GTA 5, yes, that's great, Cold. If you got GTA 5 signed by the voice actors for the trio, that'd be great. Oh, getting a controller signed by Phil Spencer. Okay, nice. Wait, isn't Phil Spencer's signature on that Xbox 20th anniversary controller, I think? I know it's mass produced, so you'd want like an actual signature like on the handle or something. When you hop off stream, check your messages. I definitely will, Adrian. Do you think new generation animes that focus on the old main characters' kids is the bad thing? Oh, Ash, yes. Dude, I am so sick and tired of these sequel series. I'm so tired of Boruto. I'm so tired of Yashahime. There's some things you gotta leave alone. You gotta leave it alone. Like, unless you got something really good, you gotta leave it alone. Because everything right now just comes off like fanfic, man. And honestly, like, Boruto is probably the best of the bunch. But look how long it took Boruto to get good. Like, all this shit they're just doing it to capitalize off of stuff rather than, hey, let's actually tell a compelling story with these characters. And I hate what they did in Yashahime, because it's basically they made the characters to be deadbeat fathers and mothers. Like, oh my God. And the worst part about these sequel series is that the new characters are never well written. Never well written. Never. They're like really unlikable characters. And they're going through shit that I call the CW drama, because that's what they feel like. They feel like CW shows. Do you think Toonami is irrelevant? Well, it depends, man. I mean, obviously, most of us don't watch Toonami because we have access to things like Netflix and Hulu and Crunchyroll, and we can watch anime whenever we want. So we don't need to stay up to like 1 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays when we could be doing anything else. But I think it serves its purpose for the people that do watch it, because I'm sure there's some people out there who got exposed to anime because they were flipping through channels on Toonami. I'm sure there's a lot of people that still watch TV like that. So yeah, I'm glad that Toonami is doing some really cool stuff. I wasn't on board with the new Toonami for a while because it was just reruns of a lot of old shit. But when they started getting new anime and they started doing damn near simul dubs and premieres of Japanese stuff, I was like, wow, that is an achievement. So I think it serves its purpose to its audience and the people who enjoy watching anime on Saturday nights. See, that's a different, like, this is an evolution of Neo, right? Like, there was a time where I'd be like, yo, like, fuck this, fuck that, terrible, blah blah blah, why do you do this? Now I'm just like, listen, if it makes you happy, if it brings you joy and pleasure, then have fun. That's it. If it's not hurting anybody, let it do its thing, man. Dude, Asbellant, I know, Yashihime is so bad, man. It's terrible. $4.99 from the homie GC Plugs. Have a good night, my brother. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. And yeah, we might as well just wrap up the stream for tonight, you guys, because the second I said, oh, I'm getting tired, it's like my body's like, yes, it's time we shut down. But yo, I appreciate everybody pulling up for tonight, man. This shit was lit as fuck. We talked about a lot of good stuff. As always, you guys, if you want to find me on social media outlets, it's going to be down below in the video description. Twitter is the place I congregate the most. That's where I give all of my spicy takes, my thirst traps, things like that. In addition to like our Discord community, Patreon page, all those other things. In terms of content coming to the channel, depending on the events for tomorrow, I might stream the finale of Doki Doki. No promises on that. No promises. We'll see what happens after that. Yes, another week in the books. That's right, Chris Bree. And I appreciate everyone who was commenting, and then all the people out there who just listen in the background. I appreciate y'all as well. Thank you so much. No, Grimdark, don't apologize about the Japanese politics stuff. Like, bro, this is not a gaming stream. This ain't a gaming channel. We talk about everything here, man. That makes things interesting because everyone here, I'm sure we have interesting thoughts to share on something like that. And some folks, they're learning something new about it. So yeah, no, don't, Grimdark, do not apologize for that, my friend. Do not. But before we go, we got to do something which everyone knows. I didn't even get a chance to say that wraps up Asking You. Everyone's like, nope. It's time for a hydration check, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what is a hydration check, you ask? Well, hydration check is basically my way of keeping y'all accountable on your H2O. Because when you drink a lot of water, you feel better. You feel healthier. Your skin feels better. Your nails feel better. Your hair looks better. Your lips are less chapped. Everything. I could use some chapstick right now after talking for 3 hours, Jesus. But yeah, hail the hydrate. That's right. Yeah, so we got this hydration check. Only got a little bit of water, considering I drank all this throughout the stream. So yeah, we're just gonna chug the rest of this, you guys, on the count. No. A hydration check is not code for let's do shots. We're gonna save shots for another time. But we do hydration checks now. So put away that Captain Morgan, Grimdark. Put her away. And Captain Morgan's like, yeah, I'll put her away. I'll put her away. He will put it away. But yeah, hydration check on the count of 3, y'all. 1, 2, 3. Hydration. I don't know why I threw that. Like, you remember the first Thor movie where Thor was like, another? That's how I felt right there. Breathes in water molecules. Caffeinated water. Y'all are a trip. But, you know, as much of a trip as y'all are, I'm thankful to be rocking with y'all every single week with Ask Neo. So yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings, your afternoons, your mornings, whatever time of being in time zone. Thank you for coming through the stream. Thank you for commenting. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate all the super chats for tonight. Appreciate all the mods for what you do. And as always, I'm thankful for you guys being the amazing individuals that you are. So for me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.